Evening, everybody. So today we are going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. I'm just waiting for the moderator and the other guy to join. Just give me a second.
Yo, what's up, Adam?
Alrighty.
Yeah, we are finally.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man.
Yeah,
Nice
nice
to
to
meet
meet you, bro. Nice to meet you.
What's
you. Yeah,
good?
so
How's
so
everything?
so yeah, it's good that we finally got this set up. It was kind of difficult, but finally we're here. So yeah, so before we get this debate started with, I would like to just ensure that there's no, any disrespect in the chat or any insults being thrown. But yeah, so basically, the topic of this debate is Jesus. Did Jesus prophesize Prophet Muhammad? Right? Correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So the one who's gonna start the opening statement, according to Adam and Sierra, both agreed on. The one who's gonna start is Sierra, and both of you are gonna have 5 minutes to you're gonna have 5 minute opening statement, and Sierra is gonna explain, his point, and then you're gonna Adam, you're gonna start your statement by opposing it, why it isn't the case, and yeah. So this I already got one of my team members recording this live in the background, so yeah,
Perfect.
anyone can, yeah, anyone in the chat can record this as well and clip it. I don't mind. Uh, but yeah, let me know when you guys are ready, and we can start.
Okay, is
Yeah,
my
I'm ready to
voice
go.
audible? Is my voice audible? I hope it's coming from this mic.
Yeah, I guess it should be fine. Yeah, yeah, it
All
should
right,
be
all
fine.
right. It's cool, 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 cool. Like,
Yeah.
the moderator, if my voice is not audible, just call me out because I'm not sure if it's connected to my earphones or to my mic. So I hope
Wait,
it's
try
connected
speaking
to my
into your
mic.
mic. Try speaking into your mic.
Can you hear me? Is it louder now?
Yeah, yeah,
I
I
think
think,
so.
yeah, it's
Okay,
gonna.
perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's go then.
All right, so yeah, let me know when you guys are ready, and I can start the timer.
Yep.
Yep.
Should I go? I got my
Yeah.
opening ready.
Yeah, all right. Wait, let me just. So this is. I'll just have freaking the timer right here, so you guys can see.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, sure, sure. All right,
All
go.
right. All right, what's up, guys? I'm Sira, and today I'm going to be demonstrating the authenticity of the Quran by showing that the biblical and historical Jesus prophesied the coming of the Prophet Muhammad as a true prophet of God. And since the Bible says that true prophets cannot lie about God in Deuteronomy 18, the Quran must be true according to Jesus, whom he worships, so he has to follow the Quran. Now, is there a prophet other than Jesus? Yes, in Acts 13:47, Paul claims to be the Gentile prophet of Isaiah 42:6 and Isaiah 49:6, the light to the Gentiles, which means that the Old Testament does prophesy about a prophet for the Gentiles who Paul thinks it's him and not Jesus. The Gospel of John does the same thing, separating the prophet to the Gentiles and the Messiah. Now, when we keep this in mind, it's very clear that Matthew 22 is a future prophetic parable to the servants of the Gentiles. We see it's a kingdom of God parable. It's an expansion of Daniel 7, where the king is God, the banquet is heaven, the king's son is Israel, and his servants are the prophets that he sends. So we see in verse 6 that he sends the later prophets after the original ones. This is referring to John and Jesus because they're mistreated and killed. And because of this, the God is enraged. He sends his army to destroy and burn their city. This is referring to the temple destruction in 70 AD. Even John Chrysostom agrees to this. But now when we read verse 8, it says, Then he said to his servants, so only after this event, that the servant who goes out for all people to the Gentiles comes. So the problem with this is that the servant to the Gentiles comes after the temple destruction in 70 AD, but Paul claims to be this prophet to the Gentiles, but he preaches before 70 AD, before the temple destruction, contradicting this prophecy, making it a contradiction. He's unfulfilling it. Now this prophecy is unfulfilled. So when we keep in mind that this prophecy is unfulfilled, interestingly, without having any access to this verse at all, as secular and Christian scholars would agree that Prophet Muhammad doesn't have any access to gospel material, he quotes this parable near verbatim and states that angels attribute it to him. So how could one recite a parable he's never heard and doesn't have any access to, nor does his city, and to be able to theologically and coherently fit it with him. Well, this is because of the Quran's claim that he is the Gentile prophet found in the Torah and the Gospel. Well, it says the Torah too, but we just looked at the Gospel. What does he mean by the Torah? Well, Jesus is referring to two passages in the Old Testament here. When we look at verse 1, Jesus is referring to Daniel 2 and 7 when he talks about the kingdom of God here. I was talking about the kingdom of heaven in Daniel 2. And then in verses 8 to 10, he's making a reference to Isaiah 42 being a light to the Gentiles, how the servant goes and gathers all people. And so because he mashes these two passages together, Daniel 2 and 7 and Isaiah 42, he's most likely alluding to First Enoch here. It's a 1st century BCE text that holds that the figures of Isaiah 42 and Daniel 7 are the same figure. Adela Collins also says that this is the oldest Jewish interpretation we have on Isaiah 42. And on top of this, we also know that the gospel authors do take the book of Enoch, First Enoch, to be authoritative. Jude says that this is prophecy from Enoch. So Jude actually considers the book of Enoch attributed to Enoch himself. That's how authentic it is. So when we look at Daniel 2 and 7 and Isaiah 42, we can see who this prophet is. Now, I don't have enough time to go through everything, but could Jesus be the Son of Man? And Daniel 7, no, he could not, for quick terms, because in Daniel 2, verses 34 to 44, it says that the kingdom of God comes after Rome is divided, which is in 400 AD, and it will end Rome in verses 44, which already happened in 1453. Jesus lived in the 1st century and has not yet returned, so he could not fit this in any way because he lives hundreds of years before the prophecy could happen, and even in his second coming, he couldn't fulfill it because Rome has already ended. Now, furthermore, in Daniel 2, verses 44, it says that it will consume and devour all of the previous nations, just like how Rome did to Greece. When we look at the Islamic Empire, in just 70 years, it took more land than Rome ever did in its entire existence, 500 years of existence. It consumed and devoured all the previous empires, Babylon, Medes, Persia, Greece, and Rome, just like Daniel says it would. Now, when we look at Isaiah 42, I don't have enough time to go over all of it, so I'm just going to go over one verse. When we look at verse 1 of Isaiah 42, it's a clear out-of-pattern problem because it says, my servant whom I uphold. But every single time Isaiah mentions his servant, he always names the servant afterwards. We have a problem here. He doesn't name him this time in Isaiah 42. Even the Septuagint tries to fix this by saying, my servant Israel in the Septuagint. But the Hebrew uses the word amtak, a word used only once in the Bible. When we actually look to see what it is, in the Isaiah scrolls, the Dead Sea Scrolls, the oldest recession, we see that it's a perfect match with the word Ahmad in Hebrew, and that's why 7th century Jews would have understood the word here to be referencing the Prophet Muhammad, and even being Ahmad, we have 7th century rabbis telling the Sahaba about this. And if he asks why is there two slight differences here, well, we already know that they change names and numbers all the time throughout the Torah. And so that's going to be my opening.
Thank you very much, Sira. So that was a good opening. So he went over like the points of Acts, the Gentile prophets, and how it is not, it is not talking about Paul. So yeah, let me know when you're ready, Adam, so we can start your opening statement opposing this.
Okay, perfect. Good evening, everybody. I hope you all are having a good time. Before I start, I just want to make something very clear. This debate is not about me proving someone wrong or he proving me wrong. But what this debate is about is getting one step closer in our quest to truth. So the claim we are doing today is that Jesus predicted the coming of Muhammad. And this is a very serious claim. And I believe that great claims require great evidence. I think it's just common sense to come to this conclusion. So this is not any ordinary claim, but an extraordinary claim. And to back this up, I just want to bring something else from the Bible. When the Bible predicts with regards to a prophet, it always mentions them in a very profound way. Let's take someone like Cyrus, for example. Let's turn our Bibles to Isaiah 44:28 and 45 verse 1. Throughout this passage, it talks about Cyrus. It calls him out by name 150 years before he's even born. So when the Bible makes a claim about a messianic figure, it always talks about them by name, or even if it does not talk about them by name, it talks about their tribe. In the case of Jesus, it talks about where he's going to be born.
And I think this is very significant. When you make an extraordinary claim, you got to give extraordinary proof. Now, one common verse which Muslims frequently quote is John 14:26, where it says, the helper, the Holy Spirit will come to guide us into all truth. Muslims often try to say that this helper is not the Holy Spirit, but Muhammad. And I think that's not logical, because just in the following verses, he goes on to say that this is the comforter, who is the Holy Spirit, who will come and live inside of us. I don't think Muhammad would come and live inside of us. Now, the claim that my brother made is that Paul is not the prophet to the Gentiles. And I think that is something every single historian would disagree with. Name a single historian who'd stand by with you in that claim. I think that's a serious claim, and it does not have enough proof to back it up. Now, his second claim was that in Daniel, it states that the Son of Man would come after Rome is divided. If we go back to the passage in Daniel, I'll just get the verse and I'll just read from it. Just give me a second. If you don't mind me asking, which verse did you exactly quote from? Daniel chapter?
Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted.
Apologies. You can pause the time, by the way, because he was asking me real quick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What did you ask me?
Which chapter did you quote from when you said that the Son of Man is comes after Rome is divided? Which verse did you use for that?
Yeah, I'm using Daniel 2 verses 34 and 43 to 44.
Okay, so I read from there, 33 to, okay. So this is actually a very famous prophecy. I'm just going to read from 32 onwards. The head of this image was fine gold, its chest and arms of silver, its middle and thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, and its feet partly of iron and partly of clay. We already know that gold represents Babylon. This is a common scholarly consensus. And the silver obviously represents the Medes and the Persians, and the legs represents the iron, and the iron and clay feet represents the division of Rome. So as he rightly said, the Son of Man is supposed to come after the division of Rome. But note over here, when you read the rest of the verse in context, what it states is that then the iron, the clay, the bronze, no, 34. As you looked, a stone was cut out by no human hand, and it struck the image on its feet of iron and clay and broke them in pieces. Then the iron and clay, it was carried away in the wind. All right. So Jesus did not come to fulfill this promise. We believe as Christians that this promise this prophecy does not refer to Jesus was coming as a Messiah, but as his second coming, when he would come to destroy the earth and destroy the kingdoms of this earth. Jesus himself said that he has not come to establish a kingdom in this earth, but a kingdom in heaven. So I think this pretty much destroys the claim that this is referring to Jesus' first coming, and this is a common consensus among Christians. So I close with this: history matters. We need to look about what we need to look into what early Christian scholars believe. We need to look into what historians believe, and no one holds to this claim of Isaiah 42, meaning Ahmed. We'll get into that in the cross-examination. I think my time's up. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I appreciate that a lot, Adam. That was a good opening statement as well. So you made a lot of claims and opposing ideas to Sira, so we're going to move on to the cross-questioning. And Sira is going to start this with a question, I guess. So yeah, you have the stage, Sira.
Yeah, okay. So where is Jesus mentioned by name in the Old Testament as the Messiah?
All right. I love that you brought that up. So the way Jesus is mentioned in, do you know what Jesus Christ literally means?
I can't answer questions in my cross-exam, but I need to know, where is he mentioned by name in the Old Testament?
No, okay. All right. I'll just answer it that way. So the Jesus Christ, the name literally means anointed one. Christ means anointed one. And throughout the Old Testament, it refers to the anointed one. As I believe in Islamic tradition as well, names have a lot of significance. names have
Yeah,
meaning.
that's because Christ isn't his last name. That's his title as Messiah. Christ just means Messiah in Greek. So where is he mentioned as Jesus in the Old Testament? Naming him Messiah doesn't mean anything because, of course, if he's the Messiah, then he would fulfill messianic prophecies. But where is he
Okay.
mentioned by name, like how I showed the Prophet Muhammad mentioned by Ahmad, which we do have Jewish reverts. You said nobody said it, but we do have Ka'b ibn Abhar saying that he is mentioned by name in Isaiah 42. So
Kad
where
ibn
is Jesus?
Afar. By the
Yeah,
way,
so
who's
where is
Kad ibn
Jesus mentioned by
Afar?
name in the Old Testament?
Okay.
Like you said
So,
that prophets need to be mentioned by name.
all right. Yeah. Let's go to Matthew chapter 1, verse 23, please.
That's not the Old Testament.
That's the New Testament. I'll get to it. Just give me a second. Matthew 1:23. What it
Yeah.
says is, behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel. All right. So what is Jesus supposed to be named as?
Emmanuel, according
Emmanuel,
to the
right?
Gospel of Matthew.
According to the Gospel of Matthew. Yes. So according
And
to the Gospel of Matthew,
in Isaiah
mhm,
7, is the
mhm.
context messianic or is it about King Ahaz 700 years before Jesus?
All right, let's just go to the verse, shall we?
Yeah, okay. Adam, just explain that question, and because
Mhm,
the agreement we agreed on, let me just remind you guys, is the question, basically the question, like, so let's say if Sierra is giving the question, right, he will have
mhm.
3 minutes to give that question, and the person answering it will have no time limit, so you don't have to worry.
Okay.
You have, yeah,
All
you have
right.
unlimited time to,
All right.
explain your points. So yeah, just,
Okay.
yeah, go on.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't feel
Okay.
rushed, but who do you
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
what do you think the context
All
is?
right. All right. All right. So, going back to the verse, as you said that is it referring to Ahaz? And I think reading the verse in context makes things very clear. In Isaiah 7 verse 10, it reads, again, the Lord spoke to Ahaz, ask a sign of the Lord your God. Let it be deep as Sheol or high as heaven. But Ahaz said, I will not ask and I will not put the Lord to test. And he said, hear then, O house of David, is it too little for you to weary men that you weary my God also? All right. So notice who's asking the question here. Ahaz. Now, in verse 14 it says, therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son and shall call his name Emmanuel. Okay, so we see that this is, so what Ahaz born of a virgin, because obviously Ahaz is already born when this prophecy is being taught. So saying that this prophecy actually refers to Ahaz is, I'd say like illogical.
Okay, so Isaiah says that one of the signs of Emmanuel growing up is that once he grows up and when he knows that right is wrong, the two nations that Ahaz is at war with will be subdued. In Isaiah 8, were those two nations that he was at war with, were they subdued in Isaiah 8? Yes or no?
Which verse, please?
Yeah, and I believe it's going to be in verses 6 through 10 and one more verse. I just don't remember. Yeah.
Oh, Isaiah chapter 7, verses 6 to 10?
8. No, 8, 8. Chapter 8. It's the next
8.
chapter.
All right. Isaiah chapter 8, verses. Shall I read it?
Sure.
yeah, sure.
Yes. Because this people has refused the waters of Shiloah that flow gently and rejoice over Rezin and the son of Remaliah. Therefore, behold, the Lord is bringing up against them the waters of the rivers, mighty and many, the king of Assyria and all its glory, and it will rise over all its channels and go over all its banks, and it will sweep into Judah. It will overflow and pass on, reaching even to the neck, and its outspread wings will fill the breadth of your land, O Emmanuel. Be broken, you people, and be shattered. Give ear, all you far countries. Strap on your armor and be shattered. Strap on your armor and be shattered. Okay, yeah. Take counsel together, but it will come to nothing. Speak a word, but it will not stand, for God is with us. Okay, so do you know the context of who Assyria and Samaria was?
Yes, but I can't answer questions during my cross exam.
Okay,
I'm only supposed to be
all
asking
right.
questions. In
Oh,
Isaiah 8, does it say that it's about the king of Assyria and the Euphrates?
mhm. Okay, so we
Right.
can
So it's
obviously
about the king of
agree.
Assyria and not a man 700 years later. And does it also refer to Maher Shalal Hashbaz here in verse 8 as Emmanuel?
Stephen Judah. Yeah, it refers to it as Emmanuel.
Okay, so Maher Shalal Hashbaz, who was born in Isaiah 8, is also Emmanuel in Isaiah 7. Now, is King Jehu in 2 Kings, this King Jehu in Hebrew, does that literally mean Yahweh is me?
I'm sorry, come again?
King Jehu in Hebrew, does it literally mean I am Yahweh when you translate it?
All right. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to play with names. I mean, it's
But
fair
I need to know,
because,
does
yeah,
it mean
yeah,
I'm Yahweh?
I'm going to answer your question. Just give me a second. So, when it comes to names, names have different meanings. So Jesus, one iteration of Jesus is Yehoshua in the Hebrew. In Josh, it's similar to Joshua, which is also pronounced similar to Yehoshua. So when it comes to names, yes, you can bring this point, but is it really relevant to our topic of debate? Because you're trying to prove that Jesus predicted Muhammad. And I don't see how this is relevant to this topic, if you don't mind me saying.
That's okay. I was just responding to your point on Matthew 1:23, where you said that the New Testament somehow uses that as an Old Testament prophecy. So I'm going to the Old
Yeah,
Testament itself to show that this has nothing to do with Jesus. So you
yes.
brought up a
So,
point that the prophet needs to be mentioned by name, but you can't even provide this for Jesus. I just wanted to provide that.
yeah,
But we can
no,
move on
Mike,
now to my next point.
no,
You
I,
said that there's no scholar who calls or who says that Paul isn't a Gentile prophet. I'm not actually sure on that one by name, but what I do know is that Isaiah 42 says that this servant will bring a new Torah and establish a deen and law for the whole world. However, no scholar says that Paul is a prophet like Moses. However, we do have multiple Christian and secular scholars like Collins Gem Bible Study in the Time magazine saying that the only person in history who comes even remotely close to Moses is going to be the Prophet Muhammad, on whom be peace, and not Paul. So he cannot fulfill Isaiah 42. Do you have any
quote those
scholar who
scholars.
says that Paul fulfills Isaiah 42?
Okay,
Could you
you can answer.
quote the scholars? Yeah.
Yeah, Collins Gems. I can just go ahead and show it to you actually. Collins Gem, Dictionary of the Bible. The only man of history who can be composed even remotely to him is Muhammad.
Okay.
This is by James L. Dow.
Okay. So I believe you're referring to, you're doing the parallel between Moses and Muhammad. So Muhammad is the prophet that was raised for God's people, right? That's the claim you're making. I'm just clarifying your claim.
Yeah, but I was just using that in reference to Isaiah 42 because Isaiah 42 in verses, I believe it's like 6 through 7 or 8, says that he's going to bring a new Torah. It's going to be a new teaching Torah for the Gentiles, and it's going to establish a law for the whole world.
Okay.
So I'm just using that in reference to Moses. That's something that
Shall
Paul does.
we? Okay, I have an answer to this. Let's go to Acts 3:22.
hmm
Um, Acts 3:22 states this. Moses said, "The Lord God will raise up for you a prophet like me from your brothers. You shall listen to him in whatever he tells you." All right?
Yep.
If you read the previous verses, what conclusion do you come to?
Yeah, or Paul is probably saying it's Jesus, but that doesn't mean it's true. That would just make Jesus a false prophet if that
So
was true.
Acts was written by Paul, was it?
No, it was written by Luke
Yep. So how can you say Paul is saying this?
because Luke is just writing what Paul tells him. He just speaks on Paul's behalf. He writes what Paul tells him. What do you mean?
What evidence? What evidence do you have for that? I mean, that's a wild
That's
claim because
what traditional Christian scholarship says. Yeah,
no,
traditional.
that's not what we believe. Christian scholarship holds that Luke compiled and interviewed various witnesses before he came up with the writings of Luke, and Acts was mostly through his interviewing of the church members at that time. We do
So
not
Luke
hold that
isn't a physician
Paul
of
wrote.
Paul?
Yes, Luke was a physician to Paul, but
Okay.
Paul was not his source material. Come on.
So
Come
in
on, bro.
Deuteronomy 34, verse 10, does it say that never again will there be a prophet like Moses sent to Israel?
Yes, but in Deuteronomy 18, what does it
Okay.
say?
Was Jesus sent to Israel? I'm not here to answer questions. Was Jesus sent to Israel?
Yes.
Okay, so he contradicts that verse. It could not be about him. Now, I want to ask about the next thing. Does Jesus say that the servant to the Gentiles comes after 70 AD in Matthew 22 or before 70 AD?
Which verse are you quoting from?
Matthew 22, verse 8.
Oh yeah, I want to talk to you about that. I didn't have time in the opening statement. So Matthew 22, if you read the first, you do understand when the Bible talks, it talks literally and it talks in terms of parables, right?
Right.
So Matthew 22:1, what does it say? And Jesus spoke to them in a parable, saying, it's not a prophecy, it is a parable.
John
Read the,
Chrysostom says it's a prophecy, does he not?
I don't care what John Chrysostom said.
Okay, so
Yes,
John
he's an early
Chrysostom
church.
is just wrong on his religion? The number one Christian is wrong on his
Yeah,
religion?
no, he's
Golden
not
boy commentator?
he's not the number one Christian, bro. We hold him to be
He's
a
considered
highly
the number one
authoritative.
commentator on
He is
the
considered as
gospel.
authoritative, and we consider him as an early church father, but that doesn't mean all his writings are true. But what does the Bible say?
Okay.
It
Could
says
you
Jesus
name me
spoke to them
someone
in a
who's more
parable.
respected than John Chrysostom when it comes to commentating on the Bible? Just one person who's more respected than John Chrysostom.
It depends on which circle you're addressing. It really depends on which circle you're addressing. Now we're talking from the Bible, and I mean, you can quote scholars if you
Out of
want,
all
but
of history, is there someone who's more well known or more highly respected in all of history for being a Bible commentator other than John Chrysostom?
John Chrysostom, we call him Golden Lips. He's a great preacher. But when it comes
Right.
to writing commentaries, I'd say Calvin. Calvin was a great commentator. Yeah,
No, you call him
let's go with him.
Golden Boy because of his homilies are so literary filled. They're very descriptive and they're very they have lots of gospel parallels. He's very well known for his things. That's okay.
Yep,
But you can go ahead and explain why you think John Chrysostom is wrong here and why you think it's not a.
yep. Because the first verse clearly says that Jesus spoke to them in a parable, saying, "The kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who gave a wedding feast for his son." In a sense, he's clear that it is in a parable story. It's not talking about 70 80, because if you go 2 chapters later, he is talking about 70 80. He is talking about that prophecy. I hope you understand
Okay,
what I'm
so
saying.
Okay.
where does Jesus in his ever in the Bible say that none of his parables will be talking about the future?
I'm sorry?
Where does Jesus say that none of his parables will ever be referencing the future?
He doesn't state that it does reference the future either, does it? You're making an argument from silence,
So
bro.
why am I supposed to
That's a
believe you?
logical
Well,
fallacy.
yeah, I have Christian commentators doing this, so I'm actually just affirming the Christian belief already. I'm not distorting it or twisting it anyway. I'm just already affirming Christian belief. So I'm
You're
already reading this in
appealing,
context.
you're making an appeal to authority. That's again a fallacy. You can't make an appeal to authority. You can maybe make an appeal to common consensus, but you can't
Okay,
make an
so
appeal to
you're
authority over
okay
here.
with Muslims interpreting the Bible how it seems fit. We don't have to actually make sure that
Read,
our
I
interpretation of the
mean,
Bible
read in
matches the Christians.
context.
Is
Read
that
in
right?
context, bro. Read in
Okay.
context. Yeah, that's all I ask.
So when he says that he sends his army and destroyed those murderers and burned their city, what's he talking about?
He's talking about his second coming when Christ will come again. And I think, in the sense, this is prophetic. It's not prophecy. It's
Okay, so
prophetic.
it still is
It's
prophetic and
different.
about the future, just not in
There's
the
a
way you want to talk about it.
yeah,
Okay.
there's
Okay.
a difference. There's a difference. I hope you get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's only futuristic in the way you want it. I got it. Yeah.
No, no, no.
And
That's not
so
what I said.
how did they burn Christ's body if it's referring to him?
Yeah, as I said, it's prophetic. It's a parable and a prophecy. So, okay,
And
so
how
did
is
they
that
burn?
referring to him?
So according to you, who does this refer to?
It's referring to the temple destruction because it's not referring to a person. The temple is literally the temple. You know how we know this is the temple? Because the earliest redactions of this verse that are pre-70 AD don't even mention the temple. So it's not referring to Jesus. When we look at pre-70 AD recessions of this, like in Q or in the Colonel Thomas, we see that before it was in 70 AD, there's no mention of the temple whatsoever. Matthew uses the temple because he has post-temple destruction knowledge. There is zero reason to think this isn't the temple. It would be actually ludicrous to think that this is not referring to the temple destruction of 70 AD.
I mean, fair enough. Why don't we just read the verse? Why don't you just read the verse and see what it says? All right.
Yeah, so
Let's.
I got you. I'll go ahead and read it. So he sends his servants, the first ones, these are the prophets who invited the son to the banquet. They refused, so he sends more servants. These servants are seized, mistreated, and killed, obviously referring to John and Jesus. The king was enraged. He sent his army and destroyed those murderers and burned their city. So to the Jews, he murdered them, or he destroyed those murderers, and he burns their city. What's the Jews' city?
All right. You bring a good point, but can you read the next verse, please?
Then he said to his servant, the wedding banquet is ready, but those I invited did not deserve to come. So go to the street corners and invite to the banquet anyone you can find. So the
Okay.
servants went out to the street corners.
So did this happen in 70 AD? That's my
Did what
question.
happen?
Did Jesus literally come and send people? To bring people from the roads and streets and make a
Well, that's
banquet.
not
So is
referring
this
to
literal?
Jesus, nor is it
No.
referring to any
Is
Christian
this
prophecy.
literal or not? That's the question. Is it literal or not?
What do you mean by
It
is
is
it literal or not?
In a sense, it is prophetic, but is it literal or is it a parable? That's my question.
Yeah, it's a parable, but I'm not sure what you mean by
Yes,
is
it
it's not,
is
of
a
course it's not
parable.
literal because we don't actually have a king here who's literally sending people to wedding banquets. He's using allegory to refer to it being about heaven. So no, it's not literal because obviously he's not actually sending a servant to invite someone to some food. It's talking about heaven.
Okay,
So no, it's not
so
literal.
so by reading this entire until let's say verse 14, what's the conclusion you come to? What do you think it's talking about?
Yeah, it's talking about the kingdom of God and its expansion of Daniel 2 and 7 and Isaiah 42. So it's talking about Daniel 2 and 7, the kingdom of God, which comes after 400 AD, specifically in 622 AD, according to Daniel 7 and 9. And it will end
Okay, so
Rome, which happens in
so
1453.
what's the kingdom of God according to you?
Islam. Now, I wanted to ask, you said that Daniel 2 and 7 is about the second coming of Christ. Does Daniel 2 verse 44 says that the kingdom of God will end Rome?
I'm sorry, Daniel?
Does Daniel 2 verse 44 say that the kingdom of God will end Rome?
Daniel 2 verse 44. Let's see what it says. And in the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that shall never be destroyed, nor shall the kingdom be left to another people. So according to you, this kingdom is Islam,
Sorry, I
right?
think keep reading to 45. Yeah.
No, my question is this kingdom
I'm
Islam?
not answering questions on my cross.
All right. Sure. And it shall break in pieces all these kingdoms and bring them to an end, and it shall
So
stand
bring them
forever.
to an end, yes or no? Will it bring Rome
Yep.
to an end? Okay,
Yep.
so did Rome end in 1453?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so Jesus cannot fulfill this in a second coming since Rome already ended to the Muslim Ottoman Empire. So he can't be a
All right. All right. Go ahead. So according to you, so Islam has never been destroyed, right? Because according to verse 44, it says, and he will set
I
up
don't
a
need to
kingdom that
answer
shall never be
I don't need to answer
destroyed.
questions during my cross, but I will in
All right.
Daniel 7 verse verse 13, 14, and I think 23 to 24. It says that the saints of the Most High received the kingdom, not any political empire. In Matthew 21 verses 42 to 43, Jesus says to the Jews who have no political power, the Romans own their land. He says the kingdom will be taken away from you and given to someone else. So did they have the kingdom at that time, even though they had no political power?
I didn't get the last part. Come again.
In Matthew 21, 42 to 43, Jesus says to the Jewish people who have no political power because the Romans own their land right now, he says the kingdom will be taken away from you and given to someone else. Do they currently have the kingdom at the time of Jesus when he says it will be taken away from you and given to someone else?
Okay, so see what you're doing. You're connecting Matthew 21 verses 42 and Daniel 7 verses 14. Am I right
Yes,
or
because
wrong?
Matthew 21 is another parable of the kingdom of God. So it's
Yep,
talking about
I
Daniel
got
2 and
that.
7 explicitly.
So what is the kingdom of God according to you?
I already said it's Islam, but I don't know why you keep asking me questions. You're supposed to be asking
Adam, you can start your. I guess you can start your questioning.
That's
List
Okay.
out, list out all the questions you want Sierra to answer, and then we will
Okay.
get.
So do we have 2 rounds or do we have just one cross examination round?
We agreed upon 2 rounds, but yeah.
All right. Yeah, sure. That's not good. Okay. So my first question is, could you show me one verse in the Bible where Jesus or any prophet clearly names Muhammad? One verse.
Isaiah 42 verse 1.
Let's go.
Let him finish
Let's go.
first, Sira. Let him finish all his question, because he might have multiple questions. So,
Yes,
yeah,
but
let him get all the questions out, and let's try to keep the interrupting to a minimum, because it's gonna be back and forth again. So
yes.
yeah, let him get all the questions out first.
Let's go to Isaiah 42 verse 1.
Okay.
Yep. Could you just show me how Muhammad is clearly mentioned here?
Yeah, because the Hebrew here uses a word that's only used once, amtak, and every single time Isaiah mentions the servant, he always names the servant afterwards, like Isaiah 20 verse 3, Isaiah
So,
37 verse 35, Isaiah
okay,
41
okay,
verse
okay.
2.
Just
I
hold up,
have
hold
to,
up,
I have
hold up.
to answer. I have to answer.
All right.
I have infinite
Uh,
time. It's okay.
all right. Go ahead, go ahead.
So every single time Isaiah mentions the servant, he always names him afterwards. This time in Isaiah 42, he just says, whom I uphold. The Septuagint even tries to fix this by saying that it's my servant Israel. However, when we look at the Hebrew, it's the word amtak, only used once in the Bible. When we look at the Dead Sea Scrolls, the oldest word, it gives us a picture-perfect match to the Hebrew word Ahmad. It's a picture-perfect match. There's just a slight squiggle in one of the words. It's not squiggled, it's straight instead. And why do we think this? Well, we already know that scribes change names, like for example in 1 Samuel 17:50 and Judges 18:30. The names in those verses have been changed by scribes. We know this. Christians and Jews both agree. We can also look at Ahaziah and Jehoiachin's ages. Their numbers their ages are different in different verses because of the
Okay,
poor Hebrew
that's a
copies
different
manuscript
debate.
preservation.
Mhm.
Hold on. So
That's
because
a
of this, we know that this is most likely just a poor scribal copyist preservation. That's why it looks slightly different in the last letter. But we know that Jewish reverts knew and understood this as Ahmad because in the 7th century, they saw the Prophet Muhammad tested him and attributed it to him. So we know that this is about him.
So the Jews attributed it to the Prophet Muhammad.
Yes.
All right, got it. Okay, so according to you, the word servant, which is used in which text again? Is it used in the Septuagint, you said?
Which words? Sir, no, Israel. Israel is using the Septuagint.
All right, so the word Israel was changed. No, I still didn't get where it says Ahmed, because the
The
word
Hebrew
servant
word
is
amtak is actually Ahmad.
which word is it in the English?
Whom I uphold.
Whom I uphold. All right. What did you say it was again?
In the Hebrew, it's Ahmad, which
Ahmed.
the Quran
Okay.
says is
Whom,
61
whom,
verse 6 is the name of the
okay.
Prophet Muhammad.
Whom I uphold, right? I'm just clarifying again. Whom I uphold.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what it says. Okay. And which manuscript, pray say, are you quoting from?
What's up?
Which manuscript are you quoting from?
The
Manuscript.
Dead Sea Scrolls, Isaiah Scrolls.
Okay. So fair enough. Fair enough. So I am using the Masoretic text. Okay. The Masoretic
A
text
thousand
is,
years later, and it has the punctuation marks. That was the whole point. You can't use that. The oldest one says Ahmad.
all right. That's not the scholarly consensus, but sure. I
That's
will
okay. The
just,
scholarly consensus isn't that Jesus resurrected, yet you believe
all
that.
right. I'll just show you the concordance. See,
Uh,
it does not read Ahmed. What does it read? Could you read it?
I can't. It's very, very blurry.
yeah, it's
I'm
blurry.
sorry.
Wait, maybe you can send me the source on Instagram on this account, and I can pull it up on my screen.
Uh,
Yeah, it's very, very blurry on my
oh,
screen.
Yeah,
it's gonna be, all right. Damn. I don't know how to send it to you. Just give me a second.
yeah, you can maybe screenshot it and send it to me on the
Yeah,
Instagram,
I'll just screenshot it. I'll just screenshot it.
and I'll pull it up on my PC. My
I
screen
don't
isn't
know.
laggy, right?
Oh yeah, your screen is good. I'm not able to leave the chat, bro. I have to leave the live in order
Could
to
you
send
just
it to you.
read
All
it?
right.
It's okay.
Yeah, just read it. We'll
Yeah,
believe you. Yeah.
yeah. All right. So the Hebrew actually reads Tavmak. It does not read Ahmed. That's
Amtak.
literally, this is one of the most reliable, this is the most reliable Hebrew sources. This is actually from the Hebrew Concordance. Strong's Hebrew Lexicon.
Okay.
I Ahmed. I'm sorry. This is one of the most reliable lexicons ever. What you're
Uh,
cooking up is out of thin air. It's out of thin air, bro. So Isaiah 42:1 does not say Ahmed. I don't know why you're lying about it. It does not say Ahmed. It says Talmak, whom I uphold. I clarified with you multiple times. It reads whom I uphold. It reads Talmak. It does not read Ahmed. I'm sorry. You have to bring up your source material for this. You have to bring your source material.
Okay, now you have the stage, Sierra.
Okay, so you said I brought it up out of thin air. Do 7th century Jews attribute Isaiah 42 verse 1 as being Ahmad? Yes or no?
No. That's not the question here.
Well, it's my
Does it
stage,
say
so
Ahmed?
you have to answer.
No.
And
It's
you
my
said I brought it
process.
up out of thin air. Do 7th century Jews
It's
say that
my
it's
cross
Ahmad?
examination, brother. It's my
Yeah,
cross
Is it not?
examination.
wait.
Could I ask the question? Could I ask the question? My
Okay.
question was,
Now
it's
you should have.
supposed to read Ahmed. It's supposed to read Ahmed. Does it read Ahmed or does it read Talmak? That's the question.
Yeah, in the Isaiah scrolls it reads Ahmad.
Acco-
Yeah.
no. According to the common scholarly consensus, in the
According
most
to the common scholarly consensus, it says Amtak. Yeah.
it does not read Amtak. I'm sorry. You have to update your knowledge. It reads
It
Talmak.
doesn't
It
read
reads Talmak.
Amtak,
I'm sorry, bro.
brother.
It
Amtak
reads
was me
Talmak,
agreeing with you.
actually.
Brother. Amtak was me
It,
agreeing with you. Amtak
it
is the
reads
normal
Talmak,
Hebrew word.
actually.
I'm brother.
I'm sorry, you mean whom I uphold, right? In Isaiah 42:1.
Brother. What are you saying right now? We just go to BibleHub.com. Amtak. I'm not saying Ahmad. Listen to what I'm saying. Amtak. I didn't say Ahmad. I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, he was. I think you
You
misheard
mean,
him. Yeah. So
uh,
basically, he was
Look,
agreeing with you.
Let's just go ahead and show it to you. It doesn't say what you Tahmak, whatever. It says Ahmad or sorry, Atmak. It does. So I was correct. This is the normal Hebrew pronunciation. Atmak. Okay. I don't know what you're trying to. That wasn't a gotcha moment. That's just the
all
normal
right.
Hebrew word.
All right, let me just pull it up on my screen because this is the Strong's lexicon. Most scholars use this. What does it read?
I'm using the
I
Strong's
think my internet
lexicon. That was
is.
the Strong's. Brother,
All
I'm on
right.
BibleHub.com. What do you
You
think I'm using?
mean I'm clarifying again? Behold my servant whom I uphold. Whom I uphold. You mean that word, right?
Yes.
It reads Talmak, bro. It literally means Talmak.
Okay, I don't
Talmud.
know why yours reads that because I'm looking at Bible Hub and it says Amtak.
I'm
I think it's the
sorry. I'm
root
sorry
word you're
about
looking
that.
at. That's probably the root word you're
Yeah.
looking at.
So I'm sorry. One
Yeah,
minute.
you're
Yeah.
looking at the root word, brother. You're not even looking at the word. Brother, what are you doing?
Yep. So scholars go by the root word. They don't use the way it's used in the sentence. I'm sorry.
No, brother. You don't use the root word to say what the word is. If I'm going to say a word, I'm going to say the word. I'm not going to say the root word of the word. That's like saying I want to refer to, let's say I'm going to say that I'm going to go take my pre-workout, but I call it by the root word. I'm going to say I'm going to go take my work. What does that mean? That's unintelligible. You have to say the full word. You don't say just the root word of a word whenever you're speaking words. Whenever we're speaking words, you say the word. You don't just say the root word. That makes no sense. So it's
All
math.
right.
It's not Talmud.
All right. So in the Hebrew, you always go back to the root word in order to understand what they say.
Yes,
That's
but
just a common
that's not the meaning
consensus.
of the word. That's not the word though. That's how you understand the meaning of the word. That's not what we're doing. We're
Okay,
just saying what the word
okay.
is. The word in Hebrew is etmak. In Isaiah 42, the
So,
root word comes from tamak, but the word here is etmak. It's not the root word. It's a word. The
all
Bible
right.
doesn't only
All right.
speak in root words whenever it's actually speaking. What are you saying? I don't like this
All
isn't an
right.
argument.
Okay. Even by going by your own logic. All right. Does it read Ahmed there?
Yes. If you
All
allow
right.
me to answer, well, can I answer or no?
Please do answer.
Okay, I'll go ahead and show. So, like I said, 7th century Jews already understood this. So I'm not making this up. When we look at the Isaiah scrolls, here is the Isaiah scroll. Here, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Here is the Isaiah scroll right here, and here's it under down right here. Look at all that. We put it right here, every single word is a picture match for Ahmad. We have two slight differences right here. You see the differences? This is the Hebrew on the left, or on the right, I believe, and this is Ahmad on the left is the correct. You see the slight difference? This is just poor scribal alterations, which we already see with names. For example, we see names being changed here from David to Elhanan. We see a name here going from Gershom, son of Moses, to Gershom, son of Manasseh. We see names being changed. We know numbers and ages are changed. Ahaziah's age is 22 and 42. Jehoiachin's age is 8 and 18. This is just because of poor Hebrew copyist manuscript preservation. Same thing applies here, and that's why 7th century Jews understood it to be poor Hebrew manuscript, and they attribute it to Ahmad.
Okay. I see your reasoning, but why isn't it part of the popular scholarly consensus? Why don't they consider this as true? I mean, that's my honest question.
Yeah, because to assert it's Ahmad is a theological insertion, and no secular scholar is going to just assert theological insertions into the Bible. That would be ridiculous for a secular scholar to do. They would have all their credibility thrown away out their window, asserting theological views into an academic book. That makes no sense.
Okay. That makes sense, but this argument underlies one fact. You stating that it says Ahmed in the Hebrew. And we already made it so clear that it's not the scholarly consensus. You're just taking one scholar. I don't even know if this is a scholar's work, and you
So you're
are
appealing to authority,
taking that
correct?
as authority. Yeah,
You're just
your
appealing to
authority is
authority?
messed up.
No, I'm asking
No,
you. You're just appealing to authority?
I'm not appealing to authority. I'm appealing to the common
To the
consensus.
consensus. So you're appealing to
To the
authority.
consensus?
Right, so
No.
you're appealing to the
Okay.
consensus.
So what
Okay.
are you appealing to? What are you appealing to? That's my honest
I'm
question, bro.
appealing to what's true, but if we just appeal to consensus, it's okay. In my next round of cross-exam, I'll ask you a lot of consensus questions. We'll see how Christianity upholds to the consensus. It's okay.
All right, sure. All right. My second question is, where in the Bible does it talk about Muhammad's tribe, location, or the time in which he would come? Where in the Bible?
The time in which he was come is explained in Daniel 2 and 7 and 9. It explicitly
All
gives
right.
a date of
Break,
622 AD, but it
break
gives
it down
also
for
a
me.
general date of coming after 400 AD to before 1453.
Break it down for me.
What's up? Break it down? Yeah, I
Break it down.
got you.
Yep.
So, as we already know, Daniel 2 already talks about how the kingdom of God will come after Rome divides and it will end the Roman Empire. We already got that underway. But when we go to Daniel 7, I'll talk about Daniel 9 later. We go to Daniel
Okay.
7, it talks about a little horn who comes out the fourth empire. This is going to be referring to Constantine. He's a little horn different from the rest of the other 10 kings. This king tries to subdue the laws, he subdues 3 kings, changes the set times and laws. He oppresses the holy people of the Most High. I don't remember if there's anything else to refer to him specifically as, but when you read this, he's the 11th king from the Roman Empire who is a Roman persecutor, according to Daniel. Even from Christian standards, like Augustine's 10 Roman persecutors, we would look, it goes from Nero to Diocletian. The very next emperor after Diocletian would be Constantine, who historically is a little horn who rises up among the other kings. He's different from other kings because he was a commoner who rose up by subduing 3 kings, just like Daniel says it would. He subdued 3 kings to gain his power, and that's how he's a little horn who rises up among them. And then he tries to change the set times and laws. He changes the Roman calendar from 8 days a week to 7 days a week. He makes Christianity the official religion. He oppresses the holy people of the Most High by oppressing Jews severely and establishing the Council of Nicaea and establishing homoousios, a heretical doctrine, oppressing all Christians. And he would force.
Okay. We're getting
I have
kind
to
of
finish.
off
I have to
topic.
finish my
We're getting
response.
off topic.
No,
Stay on topic, please.
I'm simply responding to how Constantine
Yep.
fits
Go ahead.
this.
Go ahead.
I have to, because it says he oppresses the holy people. I have to explain how he oppresses the holy people. This is on topic.
Okay.
But I'm going to move on. I'm
No.
not going deep into that. I just wanted to move on from that. When we keep that in mind, it then says that the holy people will be oppressed for times, and half a time. When you read that, that's 3.5 units. Time is 1, times is 2, and half a time is 1.5. All Christian lexicons and even scholars like Jerome agree to this. So it's 3.5. We do the day to century or year to century whatever, I forgot the word is for that. And we interpret it as 350 years. I believe Christians already naturally interpret it as that. We take it as that from Constantine's birth, because he's the little horn, and he's going to be oppressed for that long, for times and times from Constantine. His birth is 280 AD plus 350 AD. I guess it's 630 AD. And then in Daniel 9, he gives us an exact date of Daniel 622 AD. So we know it's referring to 622 AD on the dot, which is the year of the Hijra.
Right. That's interesting. That's something new. I've never heard that story before. But let's just go back to, let's see it verse by verse, because I understood your strategy. It's all about talking confident and quoting a lot of verses without actually reading in context. Why don't we just go to the chapter? So according to you, Daniel chapter, let's go from Daniel chapter 7. Is it fair to go from Daniel chapter 7?
That's good.
All right. Okay. So in Daniel chapter 7, it's talking about, again, the fourth beast, which refers to Rome, right? Thus he said, for the fourth beast, there shall be a fourth kingdom on earth, which shall be different from all the kingdoms, and it shall devour the whole earth, and trample it down and break it to pieces. As for the 10 horns, out of this kingdom 10 kings shall arise, and another shall arise after them. He shall be different from the former ones, and he shall put down 3 kings. He shall speak words against the Most High. So according to you, this is Constantine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Against the Most High.
Wait. Which one are we talking about? Are we talking about the 10 kings or the little horn?
I'm talking about the little horn.
Yeah, the little horn is Constantine, yes.
Okay. He shall speak words against the Most High. He shall wear out the saints of the Most High. So he's supposed to wear out the saints, Constantine.
He's supposed to what?
Wear out the saints.
Yeah, he's supposed to oppress the saints of the Most High.
He's supposed to oppress the saints.
Yeah.
Did Constantine persecute Christians? Yes or no?
Yes, he did.
Constantine persecuted Christians, according to you.
Yes. You know Constantine would threaten bishops if he didn't agree with his concept of homoousios, that he would exile them, right? You do know this, right? What's up?
Did Constantine persecute Christians? Did Constantine persecute?
Yes, and one example. Yes, and one example of that is him threatening to exile bishops who disagree with them. You're lagging, by the way. I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, wait, Adam, you're lagging. Adam, you're lagging.
Am I? I'm sorry. Oh no. Oh, just give me a second. Okay. So, according to you, Constantine persecuted Christians. But let me give you a quick history lesson. Constantine was the one to first legalize Christianity. Constantine himself accepted Christianity at his death. So he does not fit into this criteria at all.
Yeah,
not
he also
burned
contemporary Christian records, according to historians. He also threatened to force to force bishops who disagreed with him on exile. He would imprison bishops who didn't agree with his homoousios doctrine.
Give me the receipts. Give me the receipts. Give me the receipts.
I got you.
Okay, and according to you, Constantine spoke words against.
I'm pulling it up right now. It's C.E. Hill.
Yeah, let him show the
Yes, sure.
Yeah, the documents first, and then we can move on to your next question, Adam.
Pulling it up, one sec.
Yeah.
Okay, who chose the Gospels from C.E. Hill? In the early period, as only apparent the illusory product of a post-Constantinian Christian largely successful attempt to destroy contrary evidence and rewrite history. According to historians, did Constantine's church destroy contemporary ancient Christian history and rewrite its history? Yes or no?
Right, that's not the common consensus, is it?
Oh, okay. Well, you asked for the source.
Yeah, because you're just quoting some random person. You never, you're not going for common consensus.
Scholar, okay.
You're not appealing to the common consensus.
C.E. Hill is Christian. Why is a Christian lying about his own religion?
No, that's not a question. You're not appealing to common consensus. You're
I'll
just
ask you that in
you're
my
just putting some
cross-examination.
random. All right, sure, sure. Okay, so according to you, Constantine did persecute Christians, and he spoke words
And
against the
Jews,
Most
that's the
High.
more important thing. I don't even think Christians are the holy people. It's the Jews he also is known for persecuting as well. He is known for
Okay,
persecuting Jews.
okay. So how did Constantine speak words against the Most High?
By bringing in heretical doctrines like homoousios, which not a single church father for 350 years believed in. There isn't a single church father from Ignatius, Clement, Irenaeus, Justin Martyr, Origen, Tertullian, whatever, who believes in this doctrine that the Father and the Son are co-equal and co-eternal with each other.
Okay, that's another argument. I wish I could get into that, but we don't have time for it. But coming to Daniel 8:25, let me read the last two lines. And talking about Constantine, according to you, and shall
Daniel
think
8
to
or Daniel
change.
7?
Sorry, Daniel 7. Sorry.
Okay.
Daniel 7, verse 25. And shall think to change the times and laws, and they shall be given into whose hands? Into the little horn's hand for a time, times, and half time. So, according to you, Constantine lived for 350 years according to your own logic. The little horn refers to Constantine. Wait, let me build this up. The little horn refers to Constantine. And Constantine spoke words against the Most High. He wore out the saints of the Most High. And it was given to him for time, and half times. According to you, time, and half times is 350 years. And so according to you, Constantine lived for 350 years and oppressed the people of God, after which, according to verse 26, he met judgment. Bro!
All right, you want my response?
Come on!
You want my
Come
response?
on! Yeah,
All right,
come
now
on,
watch
please.
this. You're going to get baked, guys. Watch this clip, okay? Daniel, he tells King Nebuchadnezzar that his kingdom, King Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom, will be taken over by the Persians. Specifically in Daniel 8, he says that it will be taken over by Cyrus the Great. However, King Nebuchadnezzar was long dead by the time that Cyrus the Great took over the Babylonian kingdom. Even Jeremiah refers to the Babylonian kingdom as King Nebuchadnezzar's, generally speaking. When it says that it's going to be set, hold on, I'm not done
You did
responding.
not
Hold on.
answer my
Wait,
Oh, I'm not
wait,
done.
question. You
I'm
did
not
not
done
answer my
responding. You
question.
have to allow me to
wait.
respond.
Okay,
You're getting cooked right now.
go.
Allow me to
Yeah.
respond.
Go ahead.
So when it
Let's
says
minimize.
that it's going to be put in his hands, it's talking about his kingdom. When it
Verse,
refers
please.
to a person's kingdom, it always talks
Verse.
about him. It's talking
Can I
about
get the
him being
verse? Can I get the
him.
verse?
Yeah, I believe it's Daniel. It's Daniel 8.
8 verse?
So in Daniel 2, I think verse 31, he says to King Nebuchadnezzar that your kingdom will be taken over by another kingdom that's inferior to yours. And then in Daniel 8, verse 2 to 5, Cyrus the Great is the one who comes and ends
Okay. Now
Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom.
let me just stop you right there. So according to you, it talks Daniel 2:31 clearly talks about Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom. Does it talk about Nebuchadnezzar or Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom? Answer the question.
Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom, it calls him, it says
All right.
your kingdom.
It's your kingdom. Let's go back to Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7, according to you, the little horn, does it represent Constantine's kingdom or does it represent Constantine, according to you? Few minutes back, you did not say kingdom. You said king.
Yeah,
No. No. Don't change.
I have to respond.
Don't change her.
I have to respond. Yeah, but Jeremiah
answer the question. Answer the question.
Yes,
No.
I'm
Answer the
answering right now.
question.
I'm in the
That's
middle of
little
answering
horn.
right now. I'm in the middle of answering.
I'm not done asking the question. I'm not done asking the question. I'm not done asking the question. My question is, does the little horn refer to Constantine or Constantine's kingdom? Yes.
Both.
No. That's what did you say earlier? Tell me. Did you say Constantine or Constantine's kingdom?
I said King Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom, actually. I didn't say Constantine.
No. You said in Daniel chapter 7, verses 24 and 25, it refers to Constantine. The little horn refers to Constantine, according to you. But you're now trying to do damage control by saying in Daniel chapter 2, verse 31, where it clearly indicates about his kingdom, you're trying to make that connection. Well, you said, so let me just try to connect these two passages. Can we say that Daniel chapter 7 verses 24, when it talks about the little horn, it does not refer to a person, but rather to a kingdom? Because if it refers to a person, the person has to live for 350 years by your own logic.
No, it's referring to both.
No. That's not what he said earlier. Yes, is that
So
what he
can I
said earlier?
respond? Yeah, I said that 4 times actually now. I said that 4 times. So, like I said, Daniel tells King Nebuchadnezzar his kingdom will be taken over by Cyrus the Great. Did King Nebuchadnezzar have a kingdom when Cyrus the Great took over? No, he was dead. Does a dead person have a kingdom? Yes or no? No, dead people
Okay,
don't have
well,
kingdoms. So Daniel was saying that a dead person's kingdom is going to be taken away. Dead.
It's my
Okay,
cross
I'll answer. Don't
examination.
worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'll answer. I'll
You,
answer all of
you,
that. But I'm just going to answer. I'm going to
okay.
continue answering. I'm not done answering. So Daniel says that the dead person's kingdom will be taken away from him. So obviously, clearly, Daniel can be referring to a person to refer to his title and ownership of a kingdom. Likewise, Jeremiah in Jeremiah 22:25, he refers to King Nebuchadnezzar's king, or to the Babylonian kingdom as King Nebuchadnezzar, even though King Nebuchadnezzar is long dead. So he's not even owning this kingdom anymore, yet Jeremiah still refers to it as King Nebuchadnezzar. So yes, you can own a kingdom in title. So when it says that the little horn, they were oppressed by the little horn, they were oppressed by him and his kingdom and his authority that he gave, what he had left on earth.
Okay,
There you go.
Daniel chapter 2, verses 37. Daniel's giving the interpretation for the vision over here. He says, "You, O king, the king of kings, to whom God of heaven has given the kingdom, the power, and the might, and the glory, and into whose hands he has given wherever they dwell, the children of man, the beasts of the field, and the birds of heaven, making you rule over them. You are the head of gold." All right? It talks about him. And then it talks about another kingdom inferior to you shall arise after you, and yet a third kingdom. So it's talking about him and his kingdom so clearly over here. Let's go back to Daniel chapter 7, shall we? Daniel chapter 7, it's talking about, in verse 23, "And the fourth beast, there shall be the fourth kingdom on the earth." 24, "And the 10 horns out of this kingdom, 10 kings shall arise. And another shall arise after them. He shall be different from the former ones, and shall put down 3 kings. And he shall speak words against the Most High." According to you, this is Constantine, who came out of Rome.
Yep.
And, alright, so according to you, this...
it is a Roman Empire. That's not up for debate. It's a Roman Empire. Or an emperor, I mean. That's not up for debate.
Yeah, that's not up for debate. I agree with that. I'm not saying
right.
that.
So it has to obviously be referring to a Roman emperor, and a human being who has authority for 350 years. Thank you. So,
no. That's not... Alright, no, coming. So, according to you, out of this kingdom, 10 horns arise. 10 horns arise, right? And according to you, that one horn is supposed to be Constantine. Okay?
Yep.
Because what does the verse say? It says, out of these 10 kingdoms, 10 kings shall arise. Is it referring to 10 kingdoms or 10 kings? Verse 24. Is it referring to 10 kingdoms or 10 kings?
Answer
the question. No. Answer the question. Does it refer to 10 kings or 10 kingdoms?
What did I say?
Tell me.
I did. You're not listening. You're not listening because I just answered.
Okay, come again, please.
So please, when I answer, please listen. I said it's referring to the 10 kings inside the kingdom.
Okay, so that one king is supposed to be the little horn.
Right.
Okay? And according to you, by your interpretation, in verse 25, this one king, not kingdom, is supposed to live for 350 years.
Nope. I didn't say he has to live for 350 years.
You're just contradicting yourself. All right. No. It's obvious that you're just going to keep contradicting yourself. So let me go to the next question.
Nowhere does Daniel say that it's going to be living for 350 years. Okay. He says he changes the set times and laws, and because of that, they will be oppressed into his hands for 350 years because of his laws.
Given into whose hands? Into the king's hands.
Do laws just get removed after a person dies? No, laws still stay in effect after a person dies. Because laws still apply onto earth after the person is gone. So the person's authority is still on earth, even though he doesn't have to be on earth. Likewise, Jeremiah and Daniel both think that Babylon is under King Nebuchadnezzar's authority, even though he's been long dead and in the grave. So just because Constantine isn't alive doesn't mean the law set in his authority isn't under his law and his authority. Those laws were implemented by him and is under his burden. Last I checked, if I make the law, not you. You're not going to be judged for a law that you had no participation in. Constantine made that law according to God, the most just God. He will pay the burden of anyone who he oppresses, even if it's after his life, because it still had to affect him with his laws. Like what?
Okay, fair enough. But what does it say in the text? You're bringing a good framework. I'm not denying that you're bringing a good framework. But what I'm saying
Because
is,
in
what does the
25
text
it
say?
says he changes
What
the
does
set
the
times and
text say?
laws. So he
Yeah,
explicitly
it's
says it's laws, it's
and
authority.
okay. And what does the next verse say? And they shall be given into his hand
Right.
for a time, times, and half a time. So they're supposed to be in Constantine's rulership. So as Christians, we don't believe that this is referring to a king, but rather to a kingdom. That's
Well,
our
no,
belief.
you're wrong. Jerome thinks it's referring to a king, so no, you're wrong.
I'm sorry, come again?
Jerome says it's referring to a Roman king. You're wrong. It explicitly says multiple times, a king will come and arise and subdue 3 different kings. Is a king subduing 3 kingdoms? What's going on? It's a kingdom subduing 3 kingdoms? It says a king will subdue 3 kings. It's referring to a human king who subdues 3 other kings. Unless you're saying that now the Roman Empire is subduing 3 Roman empires. What are you saying? That's
All right,
such a
fair enough.
contradiction. You're telling me,
All right,
what do you mean fair enough? Fair enough. You just, okay, then your entire point just fell. It's obviously
No.
referring to a human king. Thank you so much.
But
Fair
fair
enough?
enough,
What are
I
you
did.
saying fair
I'm
enough?
sorry, but fair
Your
enough, I did
whole
not
argument
agree.
fell. Your
Bro,
entire
Wait.
argument.
let me speak. Let me
Yeah.
speak. Let me speak.
And when is it
Yeah.
my
Let me
turn for
speak.
cross, by the way? It's been like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Let Adam finish this point first, and then we'll move to
All right.
Ira's question, like cross questioning.
All right, but fair enough, I did not mean your point was fair, but I'm saying that what you said is fair enough, but I was about to counter that. All right? So again and again, we're going on this one loop where I say that it's referring, where you said it's referring to a king. And then you're just changing it to mean a kingdom in the later part of the verse when it suits you. When it suits you, it's a king. When it doesn't suit you, it's a kingdom. You understand how you're contradicting yourself, don't you? Okay. I want to close it with this one last question. If indeed it is referring to a future prophet or a future, messianic figure or something, why don't the apostles or early church fathers ever speak about an upcoming prophet? Why? That's my question. Or
Okay,
do
you
they
have the
speak about
stage.
it? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, Sierra, you
Yeah,
have the stage
Jesus
now.
does. The apostles does. Actually, historically speaking, the apostles do. I can quote you like 5 scholars who say that the historical Jesus preaches about a prophet coming after him. It's only later Christians who reinterpret this and understand it to be the Son of Man being about Christ. But we even have Bart Ehrman says that the historical Jesus preaches about a prophet coming after him. So the historical Jesus would, and I can give you the
But you,
books and references for all of that.
yeah, but where does it say so in the Bible? That's my question.
Yeah, I didn't say the Bible is authentic for that. So you said the disciples. The Bible is not a teaching of the disciples. Those are anonymous, independent gospels, which were written much after the disciples, and they were first named in 180 AD by Irenaeus, and even his teacher Polycarp didn't know them by the 4 names. They're not from the disciples. You said
All
from the
right.
disciples, not the imaginary
I
gospels.
could refute that so bad, but that's not the topic of the debate, so let's not get into it.
Okay, so
So,
that's your question then?
how much time do I have, bro? Moderator.
You to reply to his question, you have no time limit, basically.
Well,
So
no,
it's his
for Mike,
for me.
he's asking for his cross.
Yeah.
I have more. Do I have more minutes, or is my time up?
No, you have time. You have time. You have
Okay, I have time.
yeah.
All right. How much time do I have left? Based on that, I could ask some questions.
So if you wanna like take a so like you wanna ask a question, right?
Yep.
For the question part, like you can ask for like pretty much 3 minutes.
No, but he's asking how much time, like how much time left until his cross is over and then my cross starts.
Oh, like 4 minutes, I guess.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So my question is: so do we agree that there is no clear prophecy in the Bible where Jesus names Muhammad directly?
No.
So there is a clear prophecy in the Bible where Jesus names Muhammad directly.
Yeah,
Because
I
that's
just
the
believe
claim you
in
made.
re
Because that's the claim. That's the
where
claim you made.
where
We went to
Jesus.
Isaiah. We
No,
went to
that's not the
Isaiah.
claim I made. That's not the claim I
The
made. The claim I
what's
made
the
in the
topic
very
of
beginning of my video is the biblical and
moderator?
historical Jesus.
Moderator, could you
Yeah.
just read the topic to us, please? Could you read the topic to us?
Did you
Yeah.
not read my opening?
No,
Mhm.
like
And what I
the
messaged you the biblical and historical. Don't be lying now. I'll pull up the screenshot and
No,
show
no,
you
no,
this. I told you it's the
no,
biblical and historical. Don't
no.
do that.
The
Don't do that.
topic is
The topic is
is
what I told you the topic would be. The
does
biblical and historical
Jesus
Jesus.
prophesy Muhammad? That's the topic. So my
Right. The
question to
biblical and
you,
historical Jesus.
no, that's not a
Are you
topic, brother.
listening?
That's
Yes.
not a
Oh,
topic.
that's what I told you in Instagram. Why are you lying, brother? I told you
no
the
the
historical and biblical
no
Jesus.
listen
My
listen.
opening said the biblical and historical Jesus. Why are you lying?
Right.
My opening said that. You can't change my
Okay.
opening,
You're
brother.
cooked.
That's my
You're
opening.
cooked.
Don't change my
You
argument.
are cooked. You are cooked. You are cooked, bro. You are cooked. So, does Jesus explicitly prophesy about Muhammad?
What is this, sir? Why do I say that the biblical and historical Jesus prophesy him? And you said, and you agreed to it.
No.
What's up with it? Why are you lying?
No.
Can we,
Okay.
Adam?
Could you scroll down? Could you scroll down, please? Could you scroll down? Scroll down. I asked you to properly write the topic
you
for
asked
me.
me to give you a five-word title. Wow.
And what was that?
Does Jesus prophesy Muhammad? That's the 5-word title for the post.
Bingo. Now, where does Jesus prophesy about Muhammad?
That doesn't
Get me the
change.
verse.
Yeah, the historical.
Get me the verse. Okay, get me the verse.
I got you. The historical Jesus prophesies the Prophet Muhammad multiple times whenever he mentions the Son of Man who comes in the glory of his
No.
Let him finish.
Get the verse.
I'm still answering.
Adam, let him finish first.
All right.
Okay,
Verses like
here
Mark 8:38, for example, where Jesus says that the Son of Man is actually. Let me make sure that's the correct verse. Let me make sure that's the correct verse. Don't remember if that's the correct verse. Yeah. Okay. So when the Son of Man is going to come in the Father's glory with the holy angels, is also found in Matthew 24 or something. We're going to have the word glory here in the Hebrew is going to be doxos. When you look at the lexicon, it's going to be most glorified. When we look at the word Ahmad in Aramaic or in Arabic, it's going to be glorified.
So,
the historical
which is the
Jesus
verse?
preaches
Which
about
is the verse?
prophet-
Which
I'm
is the
still
verse?
answering. I'm still answering.
Which is the
Sorry.
verse? The
let
verse.
him finish first, Adam. You'll
Still
have your
answering.
turn. You'll have your turn. Yeah.
So the historical Jesus preaches of a Son of Man who is not Jesus, who comes after him, after 70 AD, who comes as the name of Ahmad and most glorified, which is Ahmad. So yeah, the historical Jesus talks about a future
Give me the
distinct
verse.
prophet.
Give me the verse. Give me the
I already
verse.
did,
The
brother.
verse.
You're not listening. 8:38.
Matthew
Mark
8:38.
Mark 8:38.
Okay. Mark 8:38. Let me read the verse. So according to you, in the original Hebrew, by the way, the New Testament wasn't written in Hebrew, it was written in Greek. Just a little history lesson for you. All right. Mark
Brother,
8:38.
you're not listening because I said doxos, the Greek. So you're not listening. I'm correct. You're not listening. Doxos in the Greek is the most
Let's
glorified.
read.
You're not even listening, brother. You're not even listening.
Mark 8:38. For whoever is ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous generation and sinful generation of him, will the Son of Man also be ashamed when he comes in the glory of his Father and holy angels. So Muhammad came with literal angels.
Yeah, this is referring to his eschatological day of judgment. Yeah, he will.
No,
He says that
so
he's going to be seated on the. He said he's going to be on the right hand of the throne of God, and the angels with him, and he has the banner of justice. Yeah.
But how can he quote the Gospels when it's corrupted?
Yeah, the same way that John Chrysostom says that the Old Testament is corrupted, yet he thinks that Jesus fulfills his corrupted
As I
scripture.
said, don't appeal to John Chrysostom. Appeal to the common consensus.
Yeah. You asked me how, and I answered you. You asked me how can you fulfill a corrupted text? The same way that John Chrysostom agrees that Jesus Christ is the fulfillment of the corrupted Old Testament. In that exact same sense. Okay? Just because something is corrupted doesn't mean that it has authenticity and that a prophet can be a fulfillment of it. That is such a lame response, and it shows that you have no engagement with my response. Now remember, like I said in the video, or in the DMs, I explicitly told you, and I explicitly told you on my opening, I will be showing how the biblical and historical Jesus prophesied the Prophet Muhammad, on whom be peace. You just choosing to reject that has nothing to do with what I have to say. That has nothing to do, because I told you that's the historical Jesus I will be talking about. Your inability and inability to engage with that is just disingenuous. It's kind of sad, honestly. It shows that you're unwilling to engage with this. Nobody thinks that the Bible is historical and that the Bible records the historical Jesus.
Yeah, okay. I think his internet crashed or something, but yeah, this would be getting into like a more like wider debate of the canon of scripture, whether certain gospel are corrupted or Qurans is corrupted. But yeah, let's wait for him to come back because I think his computer, like his
Is this
Wi-Fi.
a cross exam up, or how much time he has left on his cross?
Yeah.
What's good, God Logic? Why am I quoting it? Because I'm quoting that material, okay? Because Mark is just using the authentic Jesus
Wait, wait,
material and
wait,
reinterpreting
wait,
it for his own reasons, God Logic. It's not that hard, God Logic. What are you saying, God Logic?
wait.
It's because
Before.
Mark is using authentic Jesus material and reinterpreting it for his own reasons. What are you saying? You can't make this up. It's not very hard to understand that. When we look at how the Son of Man is referenced in Q, it's always referenced generally speaking. And we all know that all of the sayings of the Son of Man come at a later stage of Q. It comes after 60 AD. The Colonel Gospel of Thomas doesn't have it. So those are all later additions into Thomas, but there are into Q. They're not fake quotes. They're still authentic. They've just been reinterpreted because they come at a later stage post-Easter tradition. What are you saying, God Logic?
Wait. What's going on with
Yeah,
Adam?
God Logic. Like I said, Mark is just using Jesus material and reinterpreting it. Any suffering Son of Man saying is not authentic. He's just using Son of Man saying material. Have you noticed how Q doesn't have any suffering Son of Man sayings? Whenever you look at Matthew and Luke, whenever they refer to the suffering Son of Man, they only expand on Mark's statings. Like Matthew 20:28, for example, is a verbatim copy of, I don't remember which Mark verse. I think it's Mark 9 or something. So every single time the synoptics are expanding on suffering Son of Man sayings, they're just verbatim copying and expanding off of Mark. They never once have any suffering Son of Man sayings found in Q. Those are all from Mark. How convenient? What are you talking about convenient? This is what the independent historical scholarship has to say. This is what the consensus of scholarship has to say. You just sound sad because you're getting cooked, my guy.
Wait. So I guess like since because we did talk about this. Oh wait, is he coming back now?
Can you hear me? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
my
What's up?
connection was really bad. My connection
Yeah,
was
yeah,
really
it's
bad. It
fine.
gave up. I'm back. I'm back. Could you?
Yeah. Okay. Let's go back on
I'm
what your
so
point
sorry,
was.
my brother. Could you please come
No
again,
worries.
please? I'm so sorry. Could you come again?
Yeah.
I'm
No,
so
no, no.
sorry
I'm
about
just
this.
talking to chat while we're waiting on you. It's all good.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Yeah.
right,
Let's
all
get
right.
back into it.
So,
Yeah.
so you didn't say anything.
No, no, no.
Uh.
No, okay, I'm fine. Okay, perfect. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So is it my turn for the cross now?
Yeah. It's now your turn, and I think this is the final one. And after this, we move on to the closing statement. So is that good with you guys?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. Sierra, you have the stage. Yes, your turn.
Okay, so you try to use the Gospel of John to justify your theology of Christ. Do scholars say that's the consensus of scholars, by the way, because that's what you're appealing to? Does the consensus of scholarship say that the Gospel of John meets the criterion of the similarity?
Which verse?
The Gospel of John as a whole.
Okay, okay. So we're now questioning the canon.
Yes, I'm asking that.
But remember, that's not the debate. The debate is,
Yes, it is,
does
because
Jesus,
as I told you in the messages, it's over the biblical and historical Jesus. Now, if you can answer my question, does the consensus of biblical scholarship say that John, the Gospel of John, meets the criterion of the similarity? Yes or no?
no, we're not talking about the divinity of Jesus. Again, you're changing topic.
I
Moderator,
didn't
can you
ask about the
just,
divinity of Jesus. I just asked you if the Gospel of
no,
John meets the criterion of
moderator,
similarity. Can you answer my
Yeah. Yeah.
question
Wait.
or no?
Wait. Wait. Adam. Yeah.
moderator, I feel we're diverting from the topic. The topic is, did Jesus predict the Prophet Muhammad? I don't see
But
how
you
this is
used the Gospel
connected.
of John to justify your arguments. I'm now explaining how the Gospel of John does not justify the theology of
Yeah,
Christ
like,
or the disciples because it's not
Wait.
the
Wait.
source. I'm asking you, do the disciples teach this? The Gospel of John is not from the disciples.
Yeah, so the main debate, basically the title of this debate was, does Jesus prophesize Muhammad? And like the title, we did not explicitly agree on whether we're gonna focus on the main Bible, like, or just, the gospel. But as long as the conversation flows, like, for example, we were talking about Jesus, and we were quoting verses, and the conversation shifted to the canon of scripture, like, is it authentic or not? So it's fine, we can get into that, but if you don't want to, then it's okay. Well, what do you say,
Yeah,
You
Adam?
can refuse
because
to answer my questions. You don't have to answer my questions.
no,
Yeah.
because it's not relevant to the topic. If you can
Okay, so
just
he
stick to
refuses to answer
proving,
if the Gospel of John is historical. Okay, next question. According to the consensus of scholarships, did Jesus resurrect?
yes,
The consensus of scholarship says Jesus resurrected?
there's overwhelming manuscript evidence that Jesus did resurrect.
I didn't
There are
ask that.
400
I didn't
witnesses.
ask that.
Yeah,
Didn't ask that. Does the consensus of historical and gospel origination scholarship say that Jesus resurrected? Yes or no?
in the sense, miraculous events are always, I'd say scholars are always skeptical of miraculous events, but there's
So
overwhelming
no. Okay, so
historical
no.
evidence that
All
it
right,
actually
next
happened. Yeah.
question. Did the consensus of scholarship say that the four gospels are anonymous or from the disciples?
Okay. Yes, they do say it's anonymous.
Okay, thank you. Does the consensus of scholarship say that Jesus proclaimed to be divine or no?
Yes, the scholarly
No.
consensus is that Jesus did proclaim to be divine.
No, the scholarly consensus, according to scholars like Bart Ehrman, Dale Allison, Adela Collins,
Okay, Bart
Walter
Ehrman is an
Wolford,
agnostic scholar. Bart
these
Ehrman is
are,
an agnostic scholar.
and Dale Allison is
Yeah.
a Christian scholar, and Dale Allison is a Christian scholar who says this. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go. Let's go with. Is there any evidence of the Prophet Muhammad and his community that he lived and having access to any biblical gospel material? Any evidence of this?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so he's quoting parables that he doesn't have access to and says it's about him while it's coherently fitting the time frame?
I mean, if Caliph Uthman wrote it, I think that makes more sense.
What's up?
If Caliph Uthman wrote it, I think that makes more sense.
Yeah, it's an internal critique, not external, the same way that you said that we don't have to talk about the Gospel of John because that's an external critique. So likewise, does this hadith say that he quotes this parable near verbatim and attributes it to himself while it coherently fits the time frame? Because we're not talking about if it's historical or not. Likewise, how you wouldn't answer if the Gospel of John is historical. So does he say it in that hadith, yes or no?
Come again?
Does he say that in his hadith? Does he quote the parable near verbatim and attribute it to himself while coherently fitting it?
I don't get your question. Could you please come again? I'm
Does
sorry,
he
my connection
quote
is
the
bad.
parable of Matthew 22 near verbatim and then attribute it to himself and while coherently fitting it?
All right. You say that Muhammad quoted it, but again, we can go back to the debate if it is canonical. And again, you're quoting from hadith. We're not even talking about the Quran at this point. You're
Can you just answer my
just
question?
talking about. All right. So where does it say so in the Quran? That's the question I'd ask you as an answer to your question.
It's my cross exam, so the
All right.
Prophet
Go ahead.
Muhammad himself attributes it to himself. So are
All
you going to
right.
respond to that or no?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
No, I'm asking. So I was asking a question with that.
Yeah, I didn't get your question. Come again, please.
Yeah, I was asking you, how does he, without having access to that gospel material, quote that parable and then attribute it to himself while coherently fit the time frame?
Is it in the Quran or the hadith? That's the question.
It's in the hadith.
So it's not in the Quran.
Nope. It's
I
from the
rest my
Prophet Muhammad
case.
himself.
I rest my case. I rest my case.
Okay, so his case is that the Prophet Muhammad himself is able to, without having access to gospel material, attribute prophecies to himself. Nice. Okay. The Quran also quotes gospel material too. Like it quotes the parable of the mustard seed, I believe, and it quotes yeah.
Again,
And
how is this?
Yeah, it quotes the parable of the mustard seed. So the Quran itself also quotes gospel parables and attributes it to the Prophet and the disciples too. So the Quran itself is familiar with the Gospels too, not just the Hadith itself. So it would be pretty ludicrous to say that the Hadith is made up just because it quotes your Gospel, because the Quran quotes the Gospel too. Next question: does Paul quote being a light for the Gentiles in Isaiah 42 and Isaiah 49 and apply it to himself and Barnabas in Acts 13:47?
Acts 13:47.
Yep.
Acts 13:47. For the Lord has commanded us, saying, I have made you a light for the Gentiles, that you may bring salvation to the earth. What do you say it references again?
The reference to Isaiah 42 and Isaiah 49:6, being a light to the Gentiles.
Isaiah 42, verse?
Isaiah 42, verse 6, and Isaiah 49, verse 6. It's being a light to the Gentiles.
And Isaiah 42, 6. I am the Lord, I have called you in righteousness. I will take you by the hand and keep you. I will give you as a covenant. No, this is not referring to Paul. Isaiah 42, 6 does not refer to Paul because he's
But
not quoting
I
that.
think that's a wrong verse. But it's Isaiah. It's also found in Isaiah 42. Let me pull it up.
It's not. It's not in Isaiah 42, 6. What's the other verse again?
Pull up. Light. Hold on, let me check. No, it is. And to be a light for the Gentiles.
Isaiah 42, 6.
Read the full verse.
I'm the Lord, I have called you in righteousness. I will take you by the hand and keep you. I will give you as a covenant for the people, a light for the nations. It does not say Gentiles here.
What does nations mean in Hebrew?
All right, let me just get it in the Hebrew.
It means goyim,
Isaiah-
which means Gentiles, brother. What are you saying?
No,
Gentiles and
no,
nations are synonymous in the Old Testament. You saying that
Isaiah
tells me
40,
you've never read the Old Testament. Thank you for telling
Isaiah
us you've
40,
never read the Old Testament.
Isaiah 42, 6.
And it's also found in Isaiah 49, verse 6. And the footnote as well, when you read the footnote of Acts 13:47, it says that this is a quotation of Isaiah 49, verse 6. So he's saying the Lord commanded us, saying that I have made you a light for the Gentiles. Does he say that? Yes or no?
Okay. Let's operate on the. Okay, yeah. Let's operate on the assumption that he does say that. Yeah.
Okay, well, he does say in Acts 13:47, and I quote, "For the Lord has commanded us, saying, I have made you a light for the Gentiles, that you may bring salvation to the ends of the earth."
Okay. He probably quotes the Isaiah verse, but go on.
Oh, okay.
It's not
So
completely quoted there.
out of context to apply it to himself?
No. See, in Isaiah 42, 6, what does it read? I have called you to righteousness, and I will give you as a covenant for the people, as a light to all nations. Here he's quoting, I have made you a light for the Gentiles, that you may bring salvation to the ends of the earth. It's not a perfect quotation.
Because that's coming from Isaiah 49, verse 6, but Isaiah 49 is a servant song parallel of Isaiah 42. It's the same thing. It's just a
Let's go to Isaiah 49, 6. And
you
he
can
says,
read 49, 6 and 42, and they're 42 and 49 are just read parallel with each other. It's like Daniel 2 and Daniel 7. It's the same thing twice.
Okay, go ahead. What's your point?
Okay. So he does quote that and say it's about him. Does Isaiah 42 teach that the servant to the Gentiles in verses 11 to 13 is a war leader like Moses and Cyrus, who comes out from Kedar and Sela, which Christian biblical scholarship all accept as the Hijaz region, Mecca and Medina?
Nope. Come again.
So it doesn't call him a warrior, and it doesn't say he's coming out of Kedar and Sela?
Okay. Again, how is this relevant to the topic?
Because Jesus in Matthew 22 is making a reference to Isaiah 42 in verses 8 to 10 when he talks about the Gentile to the or the servant to the Gentiles. So we're going to Isaiah 42 to see what kind of servant Isaiah 42 is describing. So if you could answer
what
me,
I really love about
this
debate?
And does it say he's from Kedar and Sela?
Where does it say he's out of Kedar?
In literally verse 11.
Which verse? Isaiah chapter
42 verse 11.
Isaiah chapter 42 verse 11. Let's go. Let the desert and the cities lift up their voices, the villages that Kedar inhabits. All right, it says in the Old Testament, but does it say in the reference he's referring to?
Is who?
Which Paul is referring to in Acts.
Oh, so Paul is just quoting this out of context and not actually the context of what Isaiah means? Okay. So he's just quoting prophecies out of context and applying it to himself.
This is not the topic.
I guess I should start saying songs of Solomon is about the Prophet Muhammad.
No. I mean, that's what you say, don't you?
Yeah. Likewise, how Paul quotes Isaiah 42, which has nothing to do about him, and quotes it about being him. So I'm going to ask again, in verse 11 to 12, does it say that he comes from Kedar and Sela?
Isaiah, again, moderator. Yeah. How is this relevant to the debate? That's my honest question. Because
Matthew 20, third time saying this, because Matthew 22 is a reference, a parallel to Isaiah 42. So we need to read Isaiah 42 to understand who Jesus is alluding to when he references Isaiah 42. Does that not make any sense with you? If he's referencing a parable, or if he's referencing a prophecy, we need to read that prophecy to understand who is it describing? So I'm going to ask you again.
I'm sorry.
Does verse
You
11 and
said we
12 say he
should.
comes from Kedar and
You
Sela?
said we should read the prophecy, right? Read the prophecy.
Yes.
All right, let's read.
Yes. So does
Let's read.
verse 11 and 12 say he comes from Kedar and Sela?
Let's read it. So according to you,
We
Isaiah
don't have
42
all day,
6.
brother. You cannot stall.
Yep.
In verses
Isaiah
11
42.
to 12, does
Yep.
he say he comes from
Isaiah,
Kedar and Sela?
let me read. Isaiah 42 6. I'm the Lord. I've called you in righteousness. I will take
Why
you
are you
by the
going
hand
from
and
verse
keep
6,
you.
brother? Just
All right.
read.
Because
Just
I'm
answer
just
the
reading the
question.
context.
You didn't see
Is
any
context
dots.
Let
important?
him read.
Why
Let
are you
Adam read.
dodging? Just answer the question.
Is context important or not, according to you?
Yes, context is important. You can read the context, but I'm asking a question. If you can answer, does that verse say that he comes from Kedar and Sela? If you could just answer it, because
That's why I'm reading the context. All right.
you can explain the context. I just want to know, does it say it though? Does it say
Moderator,
it?
am I allowed to answer? Moderator, am I allowed to
Yes.
answer, or is he gonna
Yes.
keep interrupting me? Yeah.
Sarah, just let him answer first. Okay.
Yeah, but he still needs to answer
Okay.
my question though. I'm just asking if the verse
I am
explicitly, just
answering it.
word for word,
You
says
know
it.
you're
You can
getting
answer the
cooked.
context.
You know you're
You
getting
can,
cooked, bro.
brother,
let
you
me
can answer the
let me read.
context. I'm just asking you, first
Okay.
of all, does it
Let's
say
not.
that?
Let's
Yeah.
not.
Your
Yeah.
inability to answer shows you're scared and afraid. Okay, don't say I'm
Okay.
cooked. You're not answering my question. And my
You're
cross
just
exam.
you're just scared of the context. To open the eyes that are blind, to bring the prisoners from the dungeons, from the prison to those who sit in darkness. I'm skipping to verse 10. Sing to the Lord a new song, his praise from the ends of the earth. You who go down to the sea and all that fills it, the coastlands and their inhabitants. Let the desert and its cities lift up their voice, the villages that Kedar inhabits. Is this a song or is it a prophecy?
It's a prophecy.
But the verse 10 says, sing to the Lord a new song.
Right. And do you know what that's referring to?
No. Does it say
What's it referring
song
to?
or
You don't
prophecy?
ask me
Does it say
questions in my
song
cross
or
exam. What's
prophecy?
it referring to?
Come on.
What's
Come
it referring to,
on.
brother?
Come on. Come on.
Okay.
It says,
So you don't want
sing
to
to the
answer. I'm
Lord.
going to answer this for you. Stop talking while I'm speaking, please. Isaiah 42,
Come
verse
on.
10. The
You
first
got
century
cooked.
Jews prior to
Cooked.
Jesus. Why are you speaking over me?
Cooked.
Moderator, mute him.
Sing.
Moderator, mute him.
Yeah. Let's keep it. Let's keep it respectful, please, and like
Okay.
not
Okay. I'm
interrupt.
sorry.
You
I'm
didn't
sorry.
see me
Yeah.
interrupting and
I'm,
laughing at you. Stop
I'm
doing
sorry.
this. This
I'm
is
sorry. Go ahead.
disrespectful.
Go ahead. Go
Let's
ahead. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Let's just
Extremely
answer.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
I'm
So
just going to turn off my video for a
So,
second.
like
Can
I
I turn off
said,
my video for a second?
the first century Jews, according to Rabbi Akiva, who gets his information according to scholars from Hillel in the first century BC, as well as Targum Jonathan, who lives in the first century, they both attribute Isaiah 42 as prophetic to Cyrus, the Messiah. Isaiah lives before Cyrus. So if this Isaiah 42 is about Cyrus the Great, that means this entire chapter is prophetic, according to Jews who lived before Jesus. So according to our most ancient, oldest interpretation, prior to Jesus, it's prophetic. Again, our interpretation before this, in First Enoch, the oldest interpretation ever on Isaiah 42 that we have, it interprets Isaiah 42 about a prophecy of a single servant. So the first oldest interpretation takes us about being a single servant. And so, yeah, contextually read, when we contextually read it, that's how it's understood, as well as the fact that in Matthew 23, 1-3, Jesus conforms to the first century rabbinic authoritative halachic understanding of the Torah when he says to his disciples, observe everything they say about the Torah and follow that. So when their interpretation of this that we have, according to Rabbi Akiva, First Enoch, and Targum Jonathan, of this all being about a prophecy, not a song, it's a prophecy, okay? Nobody thinks it's a song, it's a prophecy. In fact, they attribute this to Cyrus the Great. Do you know what's so funny about Cyrus the Great? Cyrus the Great is not Jewish. He's a war leader. He's from the Arabias. And do you know why it says sing to the Lord a new song? Because after Cyrus the Great had freed Israel from the Babylonian captivity mentioned in Isaiah 44 and Isaiah 45, whenever they were freed from Israel, they were singing a new song when they arrived to Israel. They were singing songs of joy. That's what it says. Sing a song, to the Lord praise. It says tahil. In the Hebrew, it says sing to the Lord a new song of praise in the Hebrew, tahil. In Arabic, what's tahil? It's la ilaha illallah. It says that they will sing a new song of la ilaha illallah, and they will give a new Torah teaching in verse 4. So it's a new song like Torah, which is the Quran. Thank you very much.
Again, you're contradicting yourself.
And
Because you just said it's a
Let Adam talk
prophecy,
first.
and when I said it's a song, all of a sudden you admitted it's a song, bro.
yes, it's
Do you
prophesying that the new
serious?
Torah is a song like him. It says in let's pull up the verses actually, and we'll read this together. It says that in verse 4 that he will bring a deen, a justice, which is a deen in the Aramaic and Arabic, and he will bring a new Torah. So he brings a law and a new Torah, and it's going to be they're going to be singing a
So
hymn
Cyrus did
praise.
this.
Don't please stop.
Cyrus did
They're
this.
going to
Cyrus
please stop.
did this.
Please stop.
Wait.
Please,
Cyrus did this. Okay.
Let's not interrupt each
Okay.
other, please. Yeah.
Okay.
please stop interrupting me because it shows that you're losing.
Because
So
Cyrus did this.
why are
Cyrus
you
gave a new
interrupting me
Torah.
still, brother? You're getting
Wait,
cooked right
guys.
now. Why are you
Let's calm.
interrupting me? You're getting
Cyrus read this.
cooked.
Stop.
Wait,
Sure, bro. Whatever makes you sleep.
Adam, let Sirah make his point
Oh,
first, and
I'm
then
sorry.
we'll
I'm sorry.
respond.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So he's bringing a new Torah, which establishes a law. It's a hymn to God.
Who
and
does the
it's,
he
they're
refer
going be
to? Who does the
singing
he
a
refer to?
praise to the Lord. Why are you still interrupting me? The moderator just told you 5 seconds ago, stop interrupting me.
I'm just
Wait.
Stop
clarifying.
interrupting me.
All right.
Stop
Go.
interrupting
Okay.
me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Adam, just let
All
him
right.
finish his
Every
point
single
first,
time I
and then
speak, this guy feels the need to interrupt me. That's how you know you're losing. So in verse 10, he's going to be singing to the Lord a new song, his praise from the ends of the Lord. So it's going to be a song of praise, to heal, which means praising to God through a hymn in the Jusenius lexicon. It's a hymn. So he's saying that this new Torah, this new Gentile Torah, is going to be recited as a song like hymn for the Lord from the ends of all of the earth and for the islands, which means Arabias. And you didn't answer that verse 13 says that he's a warrior like Moses and Cyrus. So this verse here, according to pre-Jesus interpreters, before Jesus was existing on earth, they understood Isaiah 42 to be prophetic, to be about a non-Jewish person named Cyrus, a warrior who comes out of Arabia. Jesus and Paul are not non-Jewish, are not war leaders, are not bringing a new Torah song like him. They are not from the Arabias, specifically Kedar, according to biblical scholarship, is in the Hijaz region, Mecca and Medina. You didn't respond to any of this.
Yeah, now it's your turn,
Okay.
Adam.
Okay. I'm allowed to talk? Perfect.
Yes.
So according to you, this is referring to Muhammad.
Yeah.
Isaiah 42.
Yeah.
Okay. So, behold my servant whom I uphold, my chosen, in whom my soul delights. I have put my spirit upon him. This is Muhammad. All right.
Because Muhammad has the Holy Spirit put upon him, as the Quran states in 16:102 and 26:193. And also, you're just asserting your Christian interpretation on it. The Hebrew there is ruach, which means to put my word in it and to prophesy. The Bible uses that same language throughout its text to mean prophecy. I can give you multiple different places. Numbers 24, 2-3, 1 Samuel 10-6, 1 Samuel 19 to 20.
Can I answer your
putting the Spirit on them is just a prophecy.
Can I answer your question? Can I answer your question? Yeah. He will not cry aloud or lift up his voice or make it heard in the street. All right. Does this apply to Muhammad?
Yeah.
Okay. A bruised reed he will not break, and a faint burning wick he will not quench.
Yep.
So Muhammad did not break a single reed, and he did not.
What's the classical Jewish understanding of that, or are you just saying stuff that you don't have any understanding of? What does it mean when he said?
I'm trying to read it literally.
Yeah,
I'm trying to read it literally.
What is the meaning of that verse?
You tell me.
No. I'm asking you. It's my cross exam. What does it mean? You're telling me, is this Muhammad? So that implies you know. What does it mean?
I don't know. You are forcing Muhammad in this chapter. You are forcing Muhammad here.
We're moving on to the next point. We're moving on to the next.
All right. You're not able to answer the question.
Before the time of Jesus, according to Targum Jonathan and Rabbi Akiva and First Enoch, believe that Isaiah 42 is about Cyrus, a non-Jew not First Enoch. My apologies. Isaiah 42 is about Cyrus, a non-Jew who comes out of the Arabias as a war leader. Do they believe this?
I don't know who you're referring to.
Targum Jonathan and Rabbi Akiva in the 1st century.
Okay.
The most prominent to name.
Okay, go ahead.
Saying, according to 1st century Jews, did they understand this? 1st century BC and AD.
Again, we come back. We again come back to this question. We again come back to the question. Yeah.
Every single time I ask a question, you refuse to answer.
I'm answering your question. We again come back to the topic of the debate. Did Jesus predict the Prophet Muhammad?
So
And
refusing to answer my question.
and
Yeah, but this is a follow-up and clarifying question. I need you to
in
clarify for me. I
in our
need you to
almost
clarify
two
for me.
hours of
Moderator, can you have
Yeah.
him answer instead of, or actually, if you're going to refuse to answer, just say you're going to refuse to answer, we'll move on. Are you going to refuse to
in
answer?
our 2 hours of talk, you haven't brought a single verse where
Are you
Jesus
going to refuse to
explicitly
answer or waste my
predicts.
cross-exam
No,
time?
okay,
Wait,
Which one
okay.
is it? Are you going to
wait,
refuse to answer or waste my cross-exam time? Moderator,
wait,
you
wait.
can't,
Yeah,
can you
You know
yeah,
stop
what?
this
here.
guy
Let
from
me
just
just
wasting my
let
time?
Adam, and Sierra. Let
You
me
know
just
what?
explain
I
something.
refuse to answer because this question is irrelevant. Go ahead.
Thank you. We'll move on.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
unable to
So
answer if first century pre-Jesus Jews understood this about Cyrus, a non-Jew warlord. Thank you.
It's irrelevant. Go on, please.
Is John Chrysostom still Christian for saying that the Old Testament has been corrupted in homily 9 of Matthew and that Jesus fulfills this corrupted scripture? Is he still Christian for saying that?
I cannot comment about that. Next question.
Okay, no comment. Once again, that's 2-0 for refusing to answer. Next question. Why does C.E. Hill, a Christian, say that Constantine burned and destroyed all original Christian history and rewrote it? Why does an own Christian saying this about his own history?
All right. I refuse to answer this. Next question, please.
Third question he refuses to answer in a row. Did 7th century rabbis attribute Isaiah 42 to the Prophet Muhammad on whom be peace? Yes or no?
I'm sorry?
Did 7th century Jewish rabbis attribute Isaiah 42 to the Prophet Muhammad on whom be peace? Yes or no?
I'm sure you're going to pull up some obscure source, so I'm going to say yes.
Okay, thank you. Does Paul actually coherently fulfill any Old Testament passage that's specified to be about a single individual? If so, where and how? Because you already admitted Isaiah 42 is not about Paul in his original context.
My answer would be the debate is not about Paul, it's about Jesus predicting Muhammad, for which you haven't brought a single
Wait,
point.
wait,
So
Adam.
this is a
Give me a second.
comparison
Wait.
point to show that how
Give.
you believe in prophets who don't make any appearance whatsoever in the
Uh,
Old Testament, yet you can still believe they're true prophets. So when I show prophets that are actually mentioned and prophesied by multiple individuals, you have zero reason to deny him because you can't provide a single prophecy or reasoning to believe that that Paul is a true prophet of God, the Gentile prophet, when he has no prophecy pertaining to him. Yet you're going to deny the actual Gentile prophet when he actually has multiple prophecies that are explicitly about him. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So do we have any extra biblical eyewitness attestation of someone witnessing Paul receive divine revelation or performing a miracle? And if so, where?
We don't have any extra biblical source.
Okay, and in Sahih Muslim 8a, do we have a massively independent attested event recorded by dozens of independent eyewitnesses stating that they saw the Prophet Muhammad, on whom be peace, receiving divine revelation from the angel Gabriel?
Okay,
Yes
I
or
don't
no?
see how it's relevant to the debate, so next question, please.
Okay, so it's not relevant to the debate whatsoever. Okay. In Isaiah 42, whenever it says, "This is my servant," whenever Isaiah mentions his servant, does he usually name the servant afterwards?
I'm sorry, come again?
In Isaiah 40, or sorry, in the whole book of Second Isaiah
Mm-hmm.
20, 37, 41, 43, 48, does he always name the servant after he says, "This is my servant"?
There are times he has named his servant, yes.
Oh, okay. And does the Septuagint try to fix Isaiah 42 by saying it's about Israel explicitly?
Okay, let me ask you a question. In what
No, you're
language
not
is the
asking me questions in
Septuagint?
my cross
Yep.
exam. So answer my
Yeah.
question.
So the Septuagint is written in Hebrew or Greek?
It's written in Greek. It's a Greek translation of the Hebrew in 250 BC.
So it's a translation.
Right. Which
All
you
right,
think
I
is the
rest my
authentic
case.
one that Jesus uses. Right. It's also the one that Jesus uses. It's the oldest translation that we have. It's going to be translated from 250 BC. It's the one that your God Jesus uses. So if you think it's inaccurate, then your God is using inaccurate
Okay,
Old Testament scripture. Furthermore,
Jesus,
it's going to be the
okay.
oldest. It's going to be the
It's
oldest
obvious
recession.
you have
It's
no
going to be
idea
the
about
oldest
textual
recession.
criticism. It's obvious you
Yeah,
have no clue
I don't
about
have
this, so
any
don't
I don't
even
have any
talk about it.
understanding.
Don't
I
even
don't have any
talk
understanding.
about it.
I don't have any
Hmm.
understanding. You're right.
Because that's a different
And
debate. That's a different
The
debate.
Septuagint is a copy that's 250 BC, so it predates any Hebrew copy that we have. Yeah,
So
it
it
doesn't.
predates the
Yes, sir.
Masoretic text. It predates the Masoretic text, does it?
It yeah, the Septuagint was translated 250 BC. The
So it
Masoretic
predates the
text
Masoretic.
the Masoretic text was created 500 to 1000 AD.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sure, go on.
Mm, okay. No
Okay.
response. So you do admit that the servant of Isaiah 43, which Jesus references to in Matthew 22 as being the servant of the Gentiles, in verse 13, he does say that he's a warrior, right?
Verse 13. The Lord goes out like a mighty man. Okay, so this verse 13 refers to Muhammad.
I didn't ask that. I asked you, does it say that it's a
No,
warrior?
my question is, does verse 13 refer to
You're
Muhammad?
not asking me questions in my cross-exam. I don't think you know how cross-exam works.
All right. I just want to answer. I want to answer by reading the verse. I want to answer by reading the verse. Let them give glory to the Lord and declare his praises in the coastlands. The Lord goes out like a mighty man. The Lord goes out. So it's not referring to a man here. I'm sorry. This is a song, and it's talking about the glory of God. So please quit with the
Obviously it's
twisting.
not a
Quit
song
with
because
the.
we already had, it's obviously not a song because you already admitted that
It's
Paul quotes
obviously a
this and
song
uses
because
it
in
as a
verse 10
prophecy.
it says,
Stop interrupting me.
in
Stop,
verse
moderator,
10,
mute him. Moderator,
Yeah.
mute him. Stop interrupting me during my cross-exam. This is so disrespectful and unprofessional. So once
okay?
again, Paul quotes Isaiah 42 and treats it as a prophecy. So you're just calling Paul a false prophet because he clearly thought it was prophetic and not a song. Second of all, when it says the Lord, that's divine agency, that's Shalia, because the agent in ancient
I
Hebrew
love how you
context.
blabber,
Stop
but don't
interrupting
actually
me,
bring out that
moderator.
point.
Adam,
I
Stop
love that.
interrupting me.
let's
I
keep it,
love
Stop
let's keep
that.
it
interrupting
down.
me.
Like,
Stop interrupting me.
yeah, let's keep the
Every single time I
interrupting.
speak, you have a need to interrupt me. It shows you're panicking and losing. You're on panic mode. So
Sure.
once again,
Sure.
it's a divine agency. Shalia is a first century BCE conception. Okay, this is a conception that predates Jesus. In fact, first Enoch uses Shalia, divine agency, and it's the oldest interpretation we have on Isaiah 42. The oldest interpretation of Isaiah 42 understands this to mean that when it says the Lord will go for us as a mighty man, that means divine agency, and it's Shalia, and the agent is being represented as God's direct representative. Furthermore, we see Rabbi Akiva and Targum Jonathan both use this and apply it to how Cyrus is divinely appointed by God as God's representative to be a warrior who frees Israel of their Babylonian captivity. So the first century Jews use this and understand this to mean that Cyrus the Great has been divinely appointed by God to be a warrior from the Arabias to come in and free Israel from Babylon through war.
Okay.
Can you respond to that?
Okay. Yes, I can respond
What's
to
your
that.
response to that?
Because you are just skipping verses, because in verse 10 it says it's a song. And the next verse is saying it's not a song. You're
I already
contradicting the
responded to this,
Bible.
brother. Respond. So Paul is a false prophet then. So Paul is a false prophet because he quotes it as a
Okay, so
prophecy.
yeah,
So Paul's a
so
false prophet,
which
yes?
so
Paul is
which
a false
verse did
prophet.
Paul
So
so which
Paul is a
verse did
false prophet,
Paul
yes?
which verse did Paul quote from again? Which verse did Paul quote
Isaiah
from again?
49 verse 6 and 42 verse 6.
42 verse 6. 6, not 10. So
49
6 is
and
before
42
10.
verse 6.
Oh, so 46 is before 10 or not?
What's that?
Is verse 6 before verse 10 or not?
Yes, verse 6 is before verse 10. So you're saying it goes from prophetic to song in the same chapter? It just goes from prophecy to non-prophecy?
That's
Does
what
the
the text
consensus of
says.
scholarship say that? Does the consensus of
That's what
scholarship say that
that's what the text
it's a
says.
song and not
That's
prophecy? Does the
read the
consensus of
text.
scholarship say that
Read
it's
the
a prophecy
text.
and not
Read the
a
text. Read
That's
the
the title.
text.
That's the
Read the
title.
text.
That's the
Read the
title.
text.
That's the title. And you're not going to speak over me in my cross exam. I don't know why you actually think you have authority over me in the cross exam. You have no authority right now. You're my dhimmi right now. Stop speaking like you have any authority, okay?
Okay.
You don't have any authority in my
Yeah,
cross exam.
I can see
let's
You
you're
don't have
losing
any
your
authority
temper,
in my
bro.
cross exam.
I can
Stop
see you're
speaking over
losing your
me.
temper
Stop
because
speaking over me. You're still speaking over
you're
me.
okay.
being
You
defeated,
are
bro.
still speaking over me. Oh
Stop.
my gosh, bro.
Stop.
Wait. Okay, let's keep the insults and critiques down
Can
for
you
a
tell
bit.
him to stop interrupting me? Otherwise, I get another minute of time every single time he interrupts me.
Yeah, okay. So there's going to be a few more questions for Sira, and then afterwards we're going to have to move on
I
to the
want him to be
closing statement.
penalized every single time he interrupts me. I get another question.
Sure. Okay, but let's
So
keep the
stop interrupting
interruption.
me because every single time
Yeah,
you're going to
yeah,
interrupt me, I get to ask another question. So this is going
yeah.
to last
Okay.
forever because at this current rate, you interrupt me every single time I ask a question.
And also, Adam, let me explain to you. So when Sira is aligning with Paul, like because like the prophecies in the Old Testament, like in the Christians' views, right? They think it aligns with Paul, but the Muslim views is it aligns with Muhammad. So that's why he can use the prophecies like to battle Paul. So he's
Yeah,
actually
but what he's trying to claim is that this prophecy aligns with Muhammad. All right, I'm in the hypothetical scenario which we are in, I'm willing to accept it. But he's trying to say that this the entire chapter is about Muhammad. All right. If this is
Yeah,
indeed
of
about
course,
Muhammad,
because verse 10, it says, you who goes down to the sea. Who's you here?
what if what is the
It's
beginning of the verse
you.
says? What does the beginning of the verse say?
Yeah, sing to the Lord a new song. And how does that make it not prophetic?
Could you
Explain.
repeat that? Could you repeat that?
Sing to the song sing to the Lord a new song. And how does that make it
Sing to
not
the Lord a
prophetic?
new song. All right.
And
So what
how
is
does
it?
that make it not
Is it a
prophetic?
song or is it a song or not? Yes or no? Simple question. Is it a song or not?
Yes, the song that they're singing is a new
All
song
right.
to the Lord.
That's my
Now I'm
case. I'm
asking you,
done.
how does that
I'm
make it
done with
not
this
prophetic?
question. I'm done
How
with
does
this
that make it
question.
not prophetic?
Is it a song or not? You said it's a
How does
song.
that make it
End of story.
non-prophetic? This is a non
End of
sequitur.
story.
Okay, so it's a
Wait,
non sequitur, guys. Apparently, as long as it says the word song, that just disqualified it from being a prophecy, even though first century BCE Jews understood verses 10 all the way up to be prophetic, even though first Enoch understands all of this to be prophetic. There's
It
zero
is.
reason to think
First
that this
Enoch
is
is
a non. Why are you
non-canonical. No
interrupting me
one
again? That's another
recognizes.
question.
wait.
Now you
Let's
got
not.
another question added. Thank you so much. Now I get to add another question. That's one tally down. So
Adam,
keep interrupting me. I'm gonna keep on adding tallies to how many more extra questions I get to ask. You're just selling yourself. Thank you very much.
Right.
This debate's gonna last forever if you keep interrupting me.
And
So
moderator,
please,
how much time left? I'm asking the moderator. How much time left,
infinite
moderator?
time. We're gonna have infinite time because you keep
yeah.
interrupting me.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking the moderator. Yeah.
Yeah. So the person asking the question would naturally have 3 minutes to get all the questions out, but
Okay.
when it comes to replying, obviously the time doesn't count because you have
So
no limit.
how much time does he have left?
About like 2 minutes because
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
at 25, yeah, then we start opening the closing statement. So yeah.
Okay. 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 Got
So
it.
do
Got it.
does the oldest Jewish interpretation take verse 10 to be prophetic as well, even though it says sing to the song or sing to the Lord a new song? Or are you gonna refuse to answer that question?
I refuse to answer this question.
I refuse to answer any question that debunks my entire argument because I know if I answer that the oldest Jewish interpreters before Jesus took it prophetic, it just debunks my entire point. Does the consensus of scholarship, which you were alluding to and using as a reliable source of information earlier, does the consensus of scholarship say that verse 10 is prophetic still, even though it says it's a song?
As I said, I refuse to answer that question because I
Another
answered
question
it
he
so many
refuses to
times.
answer because it debunks his entire argument. Every single time you
Okay.
ask him a question that entirely debunks his argument, he just refuses to answer. Now in verse 10, when it says, you who go down to the sea and all that is in it, who's it referring to? You islands and all who live in them.
It's referred to the Lord.
It's referring to the Lord. So the song here is actually
Which
referring
verse?
to
Which
historical
verse are
events.
you from? Verse
Verse
10.
10. Yeah. Well, the one that you
Sing
call
to
the
the Lord
song.
a new
The song
song.
is about the
Okay,
Lord's.
it's obviously referring to the people singing the song.
Oh, okay. So the people who are singing the song went down to Arabia's?
Where does it say Arabia here?
It says the islands. Islands in biblical scholarship means Arabia's.
Not necessarily.
Yes, it does. Show me a biblical scholar who says
All
it doesn't
right.
mean that.
All right. All right. Go
Right,
ahead.
correct.
What's your
I'm
point?
correct. So who
You're
are these
wrong.
people who went
You're
down to the
wrong.
Arabias
You're
to sing
wrong.
a new song?
You're wrong. You're
Stop
wrong. Go
interrupting me.
ahead.
That's another point. Okay, that's another question I got to ask because he interrupted me again. So once again, who is the people who are singing a new song here to the Arabias and the Arabias in it?
It does not say Arabia's here. It does
It says
not. It just
islands, which
doesn't.
biblical scholarship understands to be Arabias. The Hebrew as well just means Arabias.
Where does it say
It's
islands?
translated
Because
as
in verse 10 it says, who go down to the sea and all that fills it, the coastlands and their inhabitants. Read
okay,
it.
you're reading a different translation. Coastlands and islands, they both just means the Arabias in the same Hebrew. Coastlands, islands,
What
whatever.
version
In
are you
Hebrew, it's
using? What
Arabias.
version are you using?
I'm reading NIV.
And okay, whoa, okay. Why don't we stick to a word-to-word
Whoa,
translation?
whoa! I'm reading the NIV, brother. I just said in the Hebrew it says Arabias. I'm
All
appealing
right,
to the Hebrew. I'm
let me
appealing to
pull
the
up the
Hebrew, brother.
let me actually pull up the Hebrew because
I'm
I
sorry.
know
I'm sorry that you have unreliable
you've
garbage Bible
lied in the past.
translations. I'm gonna
You've
use
lied
it.
in this debate about the Hebrew. I'm just gonna pull up the Hebrew because all you do is lie. All you do is lie.
Okay.
So let me just pull up the Hebrew. Oh. So in the Strong's lexicon, it reads coastline. All right?
Right. And
It
what's the Hebrew
reads,
word?
it's
What's the Hebrew word?
Nisos. Nisos.
What? Show me on your screen.
Yep.
The
Yes.
Hebrew word, what is it?
It's Nisos or
It's
I.
iyim coming from goyim. It's iyim coming from goyim. What are you saying,
That
brother?
is, it's,
Brother, I have it right here.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Isaiah 42.
Okay.
From the coastlands, iyim, which means goyim. It's talking about the nations of the coastlands.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So I wasn't wrong. You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about.
All right. I don't know what I'm
Ray,
talking about.
Brother, I want to let you know, if my argument was so simple to be destroyed as all you have to do to go to Bible Hub to refute it, I obviously wouldn't be making an argument that you go to Bible Hub and you can refute it that simply, okay? I don't know why you think I'm like genuinely stupid.
All right. So where does it say Arabia here? That's my question.
Yeah, because coastlands here, EM means the Arabian coastlands, because they're contextually speaking
Okay.
here, Isaiah
That's
42.
what you're imposing
Stop
on a text.
interrupting me. That's another
You're imposing
question.
that on a
That's
text.
another question. Thank you.
You're
That's three
imposing that
questions
on
you're
the
going to ask
text.
now because you're
Wait.
still interrupting me.
Let's again.
The
We're
entire
jumping.
context of Isaiah 42 is how the the Israelites are currently in their Babylonian
Moderator,
captivity, and they're all over
moderator, is this a
the
cross
world.
examination or is it his statement? Because all I see is he's just repeating his
Well, I
point
asked you a
without.
question, and every time I ask you a question, you refuse to answer it. That's not my fault.
He's
I,
okay.
I.
Technically, Adams. Technically, it is his turn. It is his cause examination, meaning he can ask question. But again, like we can't we can't keep refusing to answer question because that defeats the whole point
Mhm.
of
No, he
debate.
can. It
Yeah.
just shows that he's losing. It's okay. He can avoid every question he wants to avoid.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, but let's
It just
keep
shows
the
that he has an
things.
inability to answer my questions. It's all
Because
good.
again, you're not even connecting to our topic. Our topic was that did Jesus predict Muhammad? And
It
you
doesn't matter if
completely
you think
skipped.
that I'm connecting to it or not. That's not what it's up for. I'm trying to get a point across, but you're just refusing to answer my questions. So that's okay.
All right. All right. All
It's
right. All
completely
right. All
okay. You
right.
refuse to answer my questions because you're unable to. That's okay.
All right. Sure.
Okay, so I guess since we're running a bit late,
I do
Sierra
have
can
three
ask.
questions still because he was interrupting me. I technically do still
Oh,
have more questions.
all right. You can
Okay,
ask three questions. Three
okay,
questions
so
is fine.
last three question, and then we're gonna move on to the closing statement because we are kind of
Mm-hmm.
running, over time
Okay.
now. So
Uh-huh.
yeah,
So according to historians, the historical Jesus, is he more so Christian or more so Muslim?
Or is a
In his
Christian?
teaching? He's more so Christian, according to
Yep.
which historical Jesus scholar says that?
According to
yep.
history, bro. Come on.
Which
Like,
historical Jesus
what's your
scholar says
criteria for this? What's your criteria for this?
a historical Jesus scholar like James Gunn, James Tabor? I can name you two historical Jesus scholars who say that the Islamic Jesus is the historical Jesus, not the Christian one. Can you name me just one?
Okay. Okay.
One, please.
How does it tie in with our argument?
Because I told you in the messages that I would be debating the biblical and historical Jesus. Did I not? Did I tell you that in the messages?
That's not a topic, is it?
Did I
Okay,
tell you in the
so
messages the topic would be the biblical and historical Jesus?
Okay. Okay.
I
Next
don't think
question.
you know, but you can't tell me what my own topic is, brother. This is my topic. You can't
wait,
come here and tell me what my own topic
I
is.
asked you for
That's
a
not how it
simple
works.
topic.
That's
All
like
right. All
me
right.
coming over to you and say, "No, you're not Kenrick Adam. You're someone else." What
All right.
what
Go
are you
ahead.
saying right now? That is
okay,
Okay.
ludicrous.
Okay.
It's
Next question.
absurd what you're trying to tell me right now. It's actually
Okay.
absurd what you're
You know you got cooked, bro. Come on. Come on. Go ahead. Next question.
Let's see. So, according to historical Jesus scholars, does the historical Jesus proclaim divinity or view himself as divine?
Yes, he did view himself as the one.
The historical Jesus viewed himself as divine?
Again, we're changing topics from the debate, but sure.
Well, not at all, because the debate was the biblical and historical Jesus.
I love your topping talent, if you will. It's really the classic Muslim style. You keep jumping from topic to
It's
topic.
not a classic Muslim style. I told you in the DMs it would be the historical and biblical Jesus. Now, can you answer, or are you going to refuse to answer? Stop wasting time and just tell me if you're going to refuse to answer.
John 8:58.
Yeah,
Before
John
Abraham
8:58
was
isn't going to be historical for any gospel scholar. But actually, go ahead. I'll just go ahead and grant it's historical. Go ahead.
Before Abraham was, I am. So they picked up stones to stone him, and Jesus hid himself and went out of the temple.
Oh, and that's apparently a claim that he's God? They stoned him for blasphemy, and John 8:58 isn't a divine claim because it's not a reference to Exodus 3:14, because in the Septuagint, Exodus 3:14 says ego emi ho on. Ho on is the divine title. John 8:58 in the Greek, it only says ego emi. The blind man in John 9:9 also says ego emi. It's clearly not a
Again,
divine title if the
you're
author
making a
wanted
claim
him to
to the
be divine.
Septuagint. You're
Interrupting
making
me, that's
this
another question. Interrupting me, that's another question I get to ask now. So
again.
if the author was trying to make Jesus look divine here, he would have made sure to use the divine title to actually attribute divinity to him. Saying "I am" is not a attribution of divinity. And second of all, I asked you if historical Jesus scholars think that the historical Jesus called himself divine. No historian thinks that the Gospel of John is historical because it's an independent, anonymous gospel that fails to meet the criterion of the similarity. We have no reason to think it's historic.
Yeah,
So
of
I'm going to
course.
ask you again, does the historical Jesus, source? Did you say source?
Yep, sources. That would be cool.
Yeah, Bart Ehrman, I don't remember the other names on top of my head, but I can pull it up. It would just give me a couple minutes. Let me pull it up. Hold. Okay, Dale Allison, a Christian scholar, says that it doesn't meet the criterion to appeal to common sense. He's a Christian scholar.
Okay. You earlier quoted Jerome, didn't you? Did you not?
Yes, I did.
So you accept Jerome
Okay,
as
so Dale Allison,
authoritative?
the Christian scholar, says that that the Gospel of John does not meet the criterion of the similarity, and he's a Christian scholar saying that.
Right. So earlier you appealed to Jerome.
Yeah.
Did Jerome hold John as canonical or not?
Yeah, he did, but that's not my.
So we
That's
can
not
go.
the.
So we can go back and forth with different scholars. We can go back and
Yeah,
forth.
well, the point of understanding was
Because
contention
that's
on
not
the
the debate. That's
interpretation
not
of a
that's
text,
not the debate.
not
That's not the debate.
the
Let's not.
authenticity of a
Yeah.
text. So what
That's
you're
not
doing
debate.
is you're falsely conflating the authenticity of a text to an interpretation of a text. I was
Okay.
showing an
So
interpretation of a
you
text to show how
you
your
you quoted the
interpretation of the text
Septuagint.
is
You
false.
quoted the Septuagint.
Using Jerome to try to appeal to the text of John being authentic is a conflation and is not analogous. It's
Okay.
disanalogous.
So you quoted
Nice
the
try, though.
Septuagint. You quoted the Septuagint.
Yeah, that
The
doesn't mean that I
Septuagint
believe
is the
that doesn't mean that I
Septuagint is
believe the
what?
Septuagint is
Yeah, I got
reliable.
that. The Septuagint is a what? Is it? It's a Greek translation of the Bible, right?
Yeah,
All right. We agree on that.
yeah,
So it's a translation.
yeah. It's also the one that Jesus uses, right?
No, to answer
It's
the
the one
question,
that
it's a
Jesus uses, right? Yeah, I'm not answering your questions on my cross exam. You're my dimmy boy. I don't have to answer any of your questions. Stop coming up here and thinking that I have to answer your
Okay.
questions
Wait.
on my cross
Yeah.
exam.
Let's.
So
Yeah.
you need to answer mine. Sorry.
Like, I can see you're losing your temper. That means you're losing the argument. It's so clear.
Right. If that's the case, then interrupting one must mean that you have lost an argument, right? If that's the case.
Interrupting is clarification, and well, you're just
Okay.
talking
So I'll
blatant
interrupt you
lies.
every
And
single time you clarify myself as well. I'll do that as
all
well.
right, all right. How many more questions does he have, moderator?
Where does Jesus claim divinity? Or actually, that's not important. Where does
Yeah.
Jesus prophesy Paul as being the Gentile prophet?
All right. Let's go to Acts.
That's not
Chapter.
Jesus. Acts isn't the words of Jesus. So where does Jesus do it?
So Jesus established apostle, did he not?
I'm asking you, where does he prophesy Paul as being a true Gentile prophet?
Can I ask the question back?
Nope.
Uh,
Then I
To
can't answer
clarify
your
what I'm
question.
asking for.
Then I can't answer your question if you keep hopping like a
If
kangaroo.
it's to clarify what I'm asking for, sure. But if it's to ask me a question and to see if I'm gonna answer it, then no, I'm not gonna answer it. If it's to clarify something, then yeah, sure, I'll answer it.
It's a clarifying question.
Yeah.
So Jesus established apostles, did he not?
He establishes his 12 disciples. Yes.
He established a church, did he not?
I don't think that's authentic in the way you do. He establishes Peter as his church, not Paul.
Okay, so he establishes Peter as his church.
Yeah.
So Peter is authentic. We're not talking about your worldview, we're talking about a Christian framework.
No.
So Peter is not authentic, according to my framework.
Are you going to appeal to 2 Peter? Is that what you're trying to do?
No.
Because
Answer the
2
question.
Peter is a forgery. It's a number one forgery. I'm not answering your question. 2 Peter is a blatant forgery. So
I'm not going to appeal to 2 Peter.
appeal,
I'm not appealing to 2 Peter. Just answer the question. Is Peter an authentic apostle?
yeah.
In Acts, does Peter accept Paul as one of their own?
Acts isn't authentic, and that's a self-claim from
Okay,
Paul
so you're going to
being
pull
written by Luke.
everything.
I'm answering.
You're going to say everything is not authentic, right? That's your point.
Let me answer why. Because Acts is written by Luke, the physician of Paul. He's writing what Paul tells him. It's a self-claim. It doesn't mean that Peter actually did. Rather, it means that Paul tells this to the author of Acts, and the author of Acts write that down. That is not proof. That's a self-claim. You sound like you're a Muslim. What about the Prophet Muhammad when he claims to meet the angel Gabriel in the cave? I guess you must believe that now because self-claims are true. Wow. I didn't know self-claims are evidence. Wow. Where's the evidence?
Okay.
So where's the evidence?
So Luke is a self-claim. Because
And
we're all doing this
regardless,
under the
so also I
assumption
want
that
to
since
point out, you
you're
also
building all of
admit,
it,
you also admit
let me
that
finish.
Jesus never prophesied to Paul. You don't need to finish. It's my cross exam. I can cut you off whenever I want in my cross exam.
Let me
I don't have
finish.
to
It's
allow you
my
to
class.
finish. I don't
All
need
right.
to because it's my cross exam. I can
All
cut
right,
you
go
off
ahead.
whenever I want. That's how a cross exam
Finish. All
works.
right, finish.
So
Finish what you want to say.
you just admitted that Jesus never makes any prophecy to affirm Paul as being a Gentile prophet of God, yet he has an unfulfilled prophecy.
I did not admit it. I did not admit it.
Okay, then where is it? Then where is it?
I made it very clear that Christ established a church, and the church,
That's
they
not what
accepted
I asked.
Paul.
Go ahead and show it to us where he affirms Paul as being the Gentile prophet in
All
the
right.
prophecy. Go
No, I understand the logic you're trying to bring. Since Jesus
then show
never
that,
is.
please, and then show
All
that,
right.
please, and don't deflect because you're wasting my time.
All right.
I understand he set up a church. Not
If
what I
you
asked
can,
for. Do what I
if you
asked
can
for, or
be,
stop speaking. Do what I asked for, or refuse to answer.
if you can be, if you can shut up for a minute, let me finish. Could you be silent for a minute? 1 minute, just 1 minute. Is that
No,
so
I can
hard?
speak whenever I want during my cross exam. So answer my question.
No. Could you be silent for a minute?
There you go. He doesn't have an answer. There you go.
If you're not gonna be, if you're not gonna be quiet, I'm not gonna answer. If you're gonna talk over me, I'm not gonna answer.
That's another question I
If
get
you're
because
not
you
gonna
spoke
talk,
over me. Thank
if
you.
you're gonna talk over me, I'm not gonna
Now I
answer.
gotta ask another question because you spoke over me again. Thank you.
No, wait, Sarah, we can't keep adding question because he needs to.
Yeah, but he keeps interrupting me. So, like I said, every time he interrupts,
you don't make the rules, buddy. You don't make the rules, buddy.
He already
You don't
agreed
make
to
the
it.
rules.
The moderator already agreed to it.
I didn't agree to it.
Doesn't matter. The moderator did. You don't make the rules either.
Listen, the rules were simple, like cross examination. The examiner asks all the questions, and basically the other party answers it. And now in this case, Adam was answering it, and I guess you misunderstood it and maybe thought he was asking another question. So Adam, can you please answer the question that Sarah presented?
Right. So what I was trying to say is his entire claim is under the assumption that Paul dictated the book of Acts. That's his entire claim.
That's traditional scholarship on it.
Okay, so when was the book of Acts written?
I believe 70 to 90, 80.
When was Paul killed?
67, 80. So
I don't have anything else to. I really don't have anything else to say.
Right, exactly. So the book of Acts was written after Paul. So
died.
During the lifetime of Paul, it was written after.
So according to you, Paul dictated it, and you just agreed that Paul did not dictate it. So unless Paul is a ghost dictating it after his death,
No, I said it's a
It
self-claim.
doesn't make
He
sense.
tells this to the author of Luke, or sorry, the author of Acts, and then Acts writes that down based upon what
Okay.
Paul told him.
All right.
Are
What's your next question?
are you like good? Do you think Paul can't speak to him
Moderator,
3 years
can
before
we
he
move to
died?
the next question?
No,
Moderator, can we
yeah,
move to the next
I'm
question because
responding
this
right
is
now.
getting
I'm
ridiculous. This
asking
is
another
getting
question. I'm asking
Wait,
another
okay.
question. You allow me to. So you're
Mhm.
telling me your argument is because Paul died in 67 AD and Acts was written in 70 AD. The author of Acts didn't just wait 4 years based upon what Paul told him and then ended writing that up. Because I hate to break it to you, sir, the 4 Gospels all come decades after Jesus. If you're trying to use that as an argumentation for Paul not dictating, then hey, guess what? I guess Jesus did not dictate the Bible.
All right.
The words in the Gospels are not from Jesus. Those are made up words that come decades after Jesus, using your argumentation. Because apparently, a book coming 3 years after someone dies means those quotes are all are not being
No.
dictated from
I was
by memory.
again, you're deflecting.
So
You're
there you go. I'm
deflecting.
done now. We can move on. We
You.
can move on to the closings.
All right.
okay, wait. Let's finish. Adam's. Yeah, let Adam speak first.
Oh, it's my closing take. I think why doesn't he go first? I'll finish at the end because I think that's the order we did for the opening statement. So yeah, let him do first.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we can start our closing statement. For to be generous, I can give 4 minutes. Do you think?
No,
Do you
I
guys
think
agree?
3 minutes should be good, honestly.
Okay. 3 minutes then. Okay. So yeah, Sarah, you go first then.
All right, here we go. So I want to make things very clear, guys. In the DMs, I told them multiple times this would be about the biblical and the historical Jesus. My opening started with saying I will be affirming the Quran from the biblical and historical Jesus. This entire debate, Adam has denied me every time I've talked about the historical Jesus because he knows that the historical Jesus and the man-made Christian Gospels are not the same. Historical Jesus scholars like James DeBoer will say that the historical Jesus fits the Islamic teachings, whereas the Christian one does not. Christian scholar or historical Jesus scholars like James Dunn will say that you can never find a Christian concept of the Messiah in the Old Testament, but you surely could find the Islamic concept of one. Now, he never responded to any of my points proving that he is the Gentile prophet found in the Old Testament, which Jesus is therefore using to dictate the Gentile servant in Matthew 22. He had no response to Daniel saying that the servant comes after 400 AD, after Rome has divided. No response to the fact that Daniel and Jerome both say that King Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom is King Nebuchadnezzar's, even though King Nebuchadnezzar is long dead. Jeremiah in 23 to 25 says that that the Babylonian kingdom is King Nebuchadnezzar's, even though King Nebuchadnezzar is long dead. Apparently, a dead guy is owning a kingdom, according to this guy right here. So failed on that one right there. No argumentation whatsoever. There was 0 objections to anything about Isaiah. He said I made up it being about Ahmad, and then I asked him, do 7th century Jews say that it's about Ahmad? Upon he said, I don't want to answer that. I asked him, is the servant of Isaiah 42 being described as a non-Jew Gentile warrior who brings a new Torah law, upholds that song like Torah? His response was, I refuse to answer that first question. I refuse to answer your second question. I refuse to answer your 3 questions. He went 3-0 for refusing to answer questions on Isaiah 42. And then he wants to make the claim that I'm not showing any prophecy. Well, no, I am showing it. You're just refusing to engage in the material that I'm showing it because you know it absolutely refutes your argument. He tries to say that Isaiah 42 isn't even prophetic. It's a song. Okay, then Paul is a false prophet because he quotes it saying that it's a prophecy. In fact, the earliest interpreter of it, First Enoch, which Jesus uses, and the book of Jude considers to be prophecy of Enoch himself, the oldest interpretation of Isaiah understands this to be all prophetic, the entire chapter. So what his gospel authors considers being attributed to Enoch himself, he is contradicting. He is contradicting his prophets. He's contradicting his gospel authors. He was unable to refute anything in Matthew 22, unable to show how Jesus affirms Paul as a Gentile prophet, unable to show any prophecy where Paul is affirmed as a Gentile prophet in the Torah, where I've shown the Prophet Muhammad being prophesied in Daniel 2:7, Isaiah 42, and Matthew 22, and Paul contradicting all of these, and Jesus contradicting Isaiah 42 and Daniel 2:7. He cannot be a fulfillment of those. Neither can the church, because the church happened to come before 400 AD. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So Adam, you can start your closing statement whenever you're ready.
All right. All right. So the topic we decided at the end was, does Jesus prove that Muhammad was a prophet? for which I've heard a lot of twisting and a lot of theories, but not a single statement from Jesus stating that Muhammad is a prophet. He went to Isaiah 42 saying that the Hebrew says Ahmed, but there's not a single scholarly consensus that it does say Ahmed. So I'm sorry, that's a very, very weak exegesis. Now, to further go, when we see Isaiah 42, it talks about the servant being gentle, opening the eyes of spirituality, and making a new covenant for the people. This clearly applies to Jesus, not Muhammad. It's a very, very, very dumb argument. And the 7th century Jews who you quote from later converted to Islam. Come on, bro. You're really going to take them seriously. All right. Overall, what I could see is all bro was doing was he was trying to go back and twist verses, take them out of context. He took Daniel out of context. When I questioned him on whether the little horn actually means Constantine or his kingdom, at first he said Constantine, then he said his kingdom. He clearly knew that he got cooked, but he just wouldn't admit it. I just find it sad that rather than answering questions, he's just did a lot of skipping from topic to topic and a lot of diverting. And I think it's sad. I know he's laughing. And I think if you watch the debate again, you can clearly see that I asked the audience this one question. Did he or did he not prove that Jesus, in fact, predicted Prophet Muhammad? Did he or did he not? If you say he did prove that Jesus predicted Prophet Muhammad, I'm sorry, you better go get some hearing aids, friends, because he literally throughout the debate, I heard him talk a lot of things, a lot of theories, but not a single verse where Jesus says that Prophet Muhammad would come. Not a single verse. Typical Dawah script. And I just find it sad that you believe in this. But nevertheless, I just want to close with this one single statement. The main problem with Islam is that God just forgives your sins. We know that God just can't forgive his sins. It contradicts his own character. That's why in Christianity we believe Jesus had to come and die. He gave his life for us in order that we must be saved from God's eternal punishment. This is why we believe Christianity is true, because on our own we can never do enough good works in order to appease God, because we are sinful. Our nature is sinful. We can never, ever, ever think of attaining God's holiness. That's why we believe Christianity is true. Among all the religions, the only religion where God has experienced our suffering is Christianity. This is the case I make for Christianity. And again, I beg this question. Did he prove that Jesus predicted Muhammad? God bless you all. Amen.
All right, thank you very much, Adam. And again, I appreciate both of you for showing up this debate. And obviously, there's a lot of points being made, a lot of circling around the points. But in general, I think we had a good debate. And yeah, it definitely prompted our viewers to, learn more about stuff. So yeah, I appreciate you guys coming on, and I hope to see you guys again in the future for a future debate. Let me know if you guys want to debate again. I'll set it up right away. But yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Yep,
We should.
appreciate having the debate as well. I also appreciate you, Adam, for acting cordial. You weren't being disrespectful to my religion or anything. So I appreciate that, for having a professional conversation. And I definitely would be happy to have another debate sometime as well.
Yeah, man, you really made me want to read my Bible more. Definitely, I love speaking to you. Seriously, man. Respect for even showing up, because 90% of Muslims don't show up. I'm so happy you showed up. Respect for you, bro. Serious respect.
Yep, same for you, brother.
All right, God bless. God bless.
Thank you as well for moderating the debate as well. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
man.
seriously, bro. Thanks, man. You took time off your day just to moderate this. You put up with our bickering. Thanks a lot for that.
This is fine. It's fine. I'm always down to listen to a good debate between two people, just trying to doing their best researching scriptures and stuff. So it was very interesting to listen. Yeah, but you guys take care, and I'm gonna catch you guys next time, and yeah, I'll let you guys know about the clips.
All right.
So, yeah.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Take
care.
care.
As well.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
All right. God bless everyone. I'm out as well.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.